The group did not reveal themselves again until 50 miles deep in the dense forest. At this point, they officially entered the demon cultivator domain, chaotic wilderness Yongzhou. Such a heavy, evil qi. Lu Jiong felt the qi in the world and felt uncomfortable all over. He tried to move his feet and heard a crack sound. Looking down, he saw a hollow leg bone. As he looked around, he saw, under the bleak moonlight, remnants of human bones scattered everywhere. Clang! The qi-refining cultivators continuously unsheathed their flying swords, looking terrified. What is this place? White Bone Mountain. Chun Sansi signaled everyone to be quiet. Only here is the guard lax, we won't be discovered. Once we leave this place, we can quickly reach the area of Mingquan Lake. I see. A cultivator muttered. I've long heard that demon cultivators kill people as easily as we take elixir pills. Now it seems that's true. An entire mountain of bones. Who knows how many people died? Against the heavenly Tao. Against the heavenly Tao. I swear not to live alongside demon cultivators. Enough. Chun Sansi interrupted them. Within Mingquan Lake, there are 2 cities and 3 camps, any of which might imprison our fellow Taoists. So after we descend the mountain, we must act separately. Brother Lu and I will each inspect a city, and the remaining 3 will form a team to investigate the camps. Afterward, we'll regroup at White Bone Mountain and then decide our next move. Okay. No one raised any objections. Chun Sansi took out the demon sect robes prepared in advance and ordered everyone to disguise themselves as loose cultivators of the demon realm, then descended the mountain together. Less than 20 miles out, they saw many warships hovering in the sky ahead, intercepting all those flying and declaring a no-fly zone. Chun Sansi had to switch to low-altitude flying. He found it a little strange. This area is already within the demon realm, so why is the security more stringent than at the borders? Is something happening inside Mingquan Lake? Even though Chun Sansi deliberately took a detour, he couldn't avoid the inspection. Fortunately, his disguise technique was sophisticated enough. Coupled with the mask gifted by the Qingshu sect's supreme elder, it was indistinguishable to low-realm cultivators, arousing no suspicion. Fellow Taoists! A demon cultivator shouted. Many heavenly water continent cultivators have infiltrated our side. If you catch one, you can exchange them for several fine blood meals. If you can catch a big fish, you won't have to worry about blood meals for the rest of your life. So everyone, walk around more lately, you might strike it big. Screw you. Another one-eyed dragon cursed unceremoniously. You're bluffing. As if I don't know something happened at Mingquan Lake the day before yesterday? Something happened? Someone immediately asked. Dugu Ao from the demon-slaying sect came. The one-eyed dragon said. The night before last, he caused havoc near the main city, almost even killing the city lord. Dugu Ao? Hearing this name, the surrounding demon cultivators showed visible fear. Why is he here? Aren't the demon-slaying sect's great cultivators all fighting the demon clan in the north now? Hey there, friend. Chun Sansi blended in, asking, Who is this Dugu Ao you were talking about? You don't even know Dugu Ao? You must be a young rookie. The one-eyed dragon solemnly said. This guy is a madman, with a heavy penchant for killing. Years ago, he laid in wait outside Chongming City, intercepting and killing over 2,000 people in 6 months, just to refine a demon path golden core. If I hadn't run faster than my master back then, I'd already be a pile of yellow soil now. Chun Sansi found it interesting. There exists someone in this world even demon cultivators fear. Moreover, Dugu Ao possesses some sort of sword Dao divine skills. A demon cultivator chimed in. He only needs to lightly gesture, call out the sword's name, and he can take control of others' flying swords. If a sword cultivator encounters him, it's like a minor magician meeting a major sorcerer. They can only lie down and wait for death. Can he control other swords? Chun Sansi was even more curious. Including life-bound flying swords? Of course. The one-eyed dragon responded impatiently, then continued. So everyone should ignore their words and stay hidden in their cave mansions recently. lest they become demon path golden core. Chun Sansi looked ahead and saw a broken wall with several scattered old demon path wanted posters, all showing righteous loose cultivators long active in the demon realm. The one most conspicuous was in the center. The poster's portrait lacked a face, only showing a fox mask, with the name below, Dugueo. This demon-slaying sect really can't tolerate either the righteous or the demonic paths. Shifting his gaze, Chun Sansi was able to continue traveling. After crossing a few more mountain peaks ahead, he would reach the main city, Chongming City, near Mingquan Lake. Along the way, he passed through several villages, coincidentally encountering demon sect cultivators who had come to the mortal world to collect taxes. Chun Sansi noticed that in the demon realm's mortal fields, spiritual grain covered only 2 to 3/10 of each acre. Therefore, most places along his journey hadn't suffered any excessive famine. But this doesn't mean the people in the demon realm enjoy peace and prosperity. They have to pay another kind of tax, the blood tax. The so-called blood tax refers to living humans. Every household must offer living humans at designated times as required, and if they cannot, the whole family will be taken for alchemy. Conversely, if a family can produce a superior furnace tripod selected by the demon path upper sect, they will receive numerous rewards and live in wealth and honor. The human heart grows with flesh. Who would willingly offer their raised children as the immortal master's blood meal? But they are unable to resist and can only become numb under centuries of enslavement until they accept it as normal. Chun Sansi could only note down what he saw and heard within his heart. At least for now, he was powerless. Setting aside his miscellaneous thoughts, he sped up and reached Chongming City before dark. The scale of this city was about half the size of Dragon Elephant City, and as long as one's identity is verified, they can pass freely. Upon entering the city, the first thing Chun Sansi did was head to the cultivator's workshop. Is anyone crafting a 10,000 soul banner? I have fresh souls here. Taoist. Take a look at my shop. It's filled with top-grade big medicines. I have a girl born in een year, een month, een day. Check it out. The brightly lit workshop echoed with various sales pitches, not much different from a regular workshop, except the products were extremely gruesome. Chun Sansi leisurely strolled around. A land nurtures its people. Many spirit plants rare in Skywater Continent were abundant in the demon realm, and he naturally took the opportunity to purchase plenty. Ancient pill recipes had an elixir called the 9-turn blood amber elixir, capable of quickly elevating one to the late-stage foundation establishment realm. Chun Sansi swiftly purchased most of the required materials, lacking only one called Extreme Een Cordyceps. This Taoist, not only do I not have it, but it's absent throughout Chongming City. The shopkeeper said hoarsely. That item requires special secret techniques to cultivate and can only be bought in the Immortal Ba Sect's territory. Immortal Ba Sect is also called the Corpse Refining Sect by righteous cultivators. Chun Sansi had checked the map, and the closest Immortal Ba Sect territory from here still required half a month's journey, leaving it for next time. He put away his items and prepared to leave for serious business. Similar to Skywater Continent, Chaotic Wilderness Yongzhou also has a court responsible for managing mortal affairs, with the state name Jin. Under Great Jin's government offices, there's a position similar to Demon Suppression Department, known as Blood Feather Bureau. If the captured cultivators from Skywater Continent were indeed held in Chongming City, information can certainly be inquired at Blood Feather Bureau. Stop! There are people from Demon Slaying Sect. Catch him! Chun Sansi's thoughts were interrupted by the noise. He looked up and saw magic fluctuations ahead, a figure breaking through multiple encirclements in a bloody path, then fleeing toward the city gate. Shangguan Siheng? In the wilderness. Shangguan Siheng finally managed to shake off the pursuing soldiers from behind, intending to take some elixir pills to recover, when he saw someone rapidly approaching from the shadow ahead. He quickly summoned his flying sword. Who? It's me. Shangguan Siheng cautiously sized up the other person, then showed a look of surprise. Chan? I only knew you were at the border. Didn't expect to meet you here. Yeah, I didn't expect it either. Chun Sansi said. I was originally planning to finish my business and then find time to exchange with you, but we met sooner. That's great. Shangguan Siheng said, Brother Chun, come with me. There is an elder in the sect who wishes to see you, saying there's an urgent matter to discuss. Dugu Ao? Chun Sansi made a guess in his heart based on previous knowledge. You know Senior Dugu? Shangguan Siheng was slightly surprised and admitted, This time, it is Senior Dugu who brought us to the border. Take me to him. Chun Sansi didn't waste words, just felt curious, wondering what business Dugu Ao had with him. The two of them weaved through the darkness, finally arriving outside a ruined tile house in a corner of the village. Elder Dugu, Shangguan Siheng called outside a broken window. I brought Chun Sansi back. Come in. A deep voice of a middle-aged man echoed from inside the house. They pushed open the decaying wooden door. Inside the dust-filled house, there was no furniture. Only a man in gray stood with his hands folded behind. The ghostly white moonlight brought faint illumination to the narrow space, allowing them to see the man's face was covered with a pure white fox mask, currently admiring the starry sky outside through a hole in the roof beam. The fox mask was very delicate, seemingly sewn with real fur, with two bloody streaks drawn around the eye sockets, making the eyes beneath appear profound and mysterious. The corners of the mouth curved upwards, surrounded by white downy fur, resembling a cunning fox smiling a human smile. Yet, Chun Sansi looked again. The mask seemed more suitable for a woman. Little brother, Dugu Ao said eerily, the sword on you isn't bad. Chun Sansi felt a chill in his heart. He only had two swords, one standard flying sword from Qingshu sect, and the Dragon Abyss sword. The only notable one could be the latter. Yet he hadn't even taken out the Dragon Abyss sword. This man could even sense the sword within the storage ring. Haha! Don't be nervous. Dugu Ao turned around, his fox mask facing him. The reason I sought you today is to ask for a favor. Chun Sansi said, Senior Dugu, feel free to speak. Recently, my demon-slaying sect plans to cultivate a batch of juniors, but the resources within the sect are insufficient. Dugu Ao took out a letter. This here is a list of heavenly materials and earthly treasures. I hope you can help gather them. Chun Sansi took the list, skimmed through it, and found that it contained precious resources required by low-realm cultivators. Cultivate juniors? Shangguan Siheng interjected. Elder Dugu, are we recruiting new disciples? Is it really at the border? How come I've never heard of it? Dugu Ao's fox-clad face turned to look at him, with a chill in his profound eyes. Shangguan Siheng immediately shut his mouth, asking no more. Senior Dugu. Chun Sansi put down the letter. These items are not a small number. The entire floral medicine palace is under the shelter of the Emperor's breath soil, but it ultimately has its boundaries. He and the demon-slaying sect as friends would help without question, but taking without giving, the Great Han was not foolish. As an exchange. Indeed, Dugu Ao continued, I will help you rescue the captured cultivators from various sections. Chun Sansi grew cautious. Senior, you know what I'm here for? Logically speaking, the demon-slaying sect didn't know he was acting as a Qingshu sect disciple outside. I not only know what you're here for. Dugu Ao paused. I also know your alias is Lu Shengji. Haha. Senior is indeed well-versed. Chun Sansi was not afraid. If the other party intended to expose him, there would be no need for this elaborate setup. He calmly said, if Senior truly can help me rescue those people, I can agree to these conditions. Are you talking about those in the Blood Feather Bureau's death prison? Shangguan Siheng said, I know where they are, but the place is heavily guarded, with many demon cultivators stationed both inside and out, and a golden core cultivator sitting in the city. If anything happens, an army will immediately besiege. Rescuing one or two is possible, but to rescue all, I will help hold back the golden core within the city. Dugu Ao interrupted. As for whether the rest can be rescued, it will depend on you. All right, Chun Sansi said. I'll take this deal. That's straightforward enough. Dugu Ao continued. Now that we've finished personal matters, let's talk about the border issues. He nodded, signaling for the other to continue. Shangguan Siheng picked up. Have you noticed the dead village recently in the Sishui region? Naturally, I have. Chan Sansi said, I was planning to ask if you knew what the demon sect is up to. A few years ago, Shangguan Siheng recalled, on another battlefield at the border, a large number of mortals once emerged to join the battle. These mortals were weak in physique, but could control a certain amount of blood fiend mystical energy, thus posing effective damage to cultivators. That battlefield suddenly saw the appearance of 100,000 mortals, causing heavy losses to the righteous path. But fortunately, this blood fiend army composed of mortals didn't continue to grow, and was soon depleted. How is it? Does it sound a bit familiar? Mortal dark power. Xianzhu. Chun Sansi felt a slight stir in his heart. That's right. Shangguan Siheng said, doesn't it resemble the method you used to command the heavenly soldiers, Brother Chan? I saw it with my own eyes back then, and almost thought you joined the demon sect. Today, besides Elder Dugu having a request for you, we also wanted to ask how you came by this method of commanding the heavenly soldiers, and how it ended up in the hands of the demon sect. Chun Sansi fell into silence. If what the other party said was true, then it meant that there might be a second Xianzhu in this world. After a long pause, he finally said, you suspect that the dead village is related to mortals joining the battle? It's quite possible, Shangguan Siheng said. But as of now, there's no evidence. We're still investigating. I'm saying if, what happened years ago repeats at Sishui Dao, we hope Brother Chan can mobilize to support us. Otherwise, a catastrophe awaits. I would be willing to mobilize, Chan Sansi said helplessly. But as you know, the entire Heavenly Water sect wants me dead. Last time at Beiyang Dao, they launched a surprise attack when we were unprepared. If it happens again, my soldiers would surely have no return. Shangguan Siheng pondered for a moment, cursing. These sects are truly damnable, unwilling to join forces against the demon path even at the brink of life and death. Chan Sansi followed up. I remember the demon-slaying sect and the holy sect are allied at the northern demon-slaying Great Wall? That's only temporary. Shangguan Siheng said, they couldn't handle the demon clan's formidable ones on their own, so they asked for our help. In exchange, they can't act against us. But the alliance only stands in the north. Elsewhere, they would kill us on sight. Enough! Dugu Ao interrupted their conversation. Investigate the dead village matter slowly. Solve the current issue first. Tomorrow at noon, I'll meet you outside the death prison in the city. Remember not to get caught up in the battle. In that case, see you tomorrow. Chan Sansi turned and left, returning to Whitebone Mountain, and at midnight, met with the disciples of the Qingshu sect. The existence of the demon-slaying sect was quite sensitive after all, so he did not mention his cooperation with them, only claiming he found the location where they were being held, preparing for a prison break amid the chaos tomorrow. A prison break? Lu Jiong widened his eyes. Junior brother Lu must be insane? Chan Sansi said, I overheard that tomorrow the demon-slaying sect will take action in Chongming City, led by Dugu Ao, so it's the perfect chance for us to fish in troubled waters. Miss tomorrow, and there won't be another opportunity. Dugu Ao? Everyone reacted to the name, apparently having gathered information about him during their daytime inquiries. Is this person really at Mingquan Lake? I hear the demon cultivators change their faces when mentioning him. A person even the demon cultivators fear. Lu Jiong nodded. If this Dugu Ao really does make a move to stir things up tomorrow, then it indeed might be worth a try. As long as they rescued the people, both leading cultivators could earn 400 copper coins each, a price worth the risk. Two senior brothers. There's another issue. A Qi refining cultivator said, there are at least 100 colleagues imprisoned. Even if we can rescue them, such a large number would surely catch the attention of the border demon army, risking encirclement with the slightest carelessness. You're right, but as long as we can get them out of the city, Lurking around and waiting for a chance to leave later is better than waiting to die. Lu Jiong sighed. If only we could fit all these people into a storage bag. A storage bag capable of containing living beings is already a rare magical treasure. Even Elder Qingshu may not have one, let alone them. Hearing this, Chun Sansi's eyes lit up. Tonight everyone take a good rest and nourish your magic power. Tomorrow, follow me into the city. The next day, Chongming City, Blood Feather Bureau Alchemy Workshop. Strange indeed. A demon cultivator wearing a magic robe made of black feathers stood at the main gate, looking up at the sky. Why hasn't today's medicine been delivered yet? If it delays the alchemy hour, that old geezer might just throw me in to make up the numbers. Buzz! Just as the demon cultivator was anxiously pacing around, a streak of red light finally appeared in the heavenly dome. An old man in a black robe descended from the sky. Behind him was a rhino with blood-red eyes and tusks, pulling a wooden cart. On the cart was a group of 5- or 6-year-old boys and girls, all tied up and unconscious due to the illusion technique. Hey, Lao Zhang, the demon cultivator cursed. You old bastard, what have you been doing? Almost missed the hour. The old man in the black robe chuckled. Hee. Went to the Myriad Melody Pavilion for a bit of fun. What are you laughing for? Hurry up and follow me. The demon cultivator cursed as he led the way. If my master punishes me today, I'll make sure to kill you. Rest assured, the old man in the black robe said. This time, I brought an excellent catalyst born in a year and month. Your master will be too pleased to even think of punishing you. The two twisted and turned through the building and finally stopped in a courtyard. The demon cultivator began counting the boys and girls, only throwing a bag of spirit stones after confirming there was no issue, and said angrily, Scram, scram, scram. There was no response. Why aren't you leaving? The demon cultivator looked up, only to see the other was already holding a sword to his neck. Are you crazy? Slash! With a swift cut to the throat, clean and precise. Chun Sansi quickly disguised himself again, changing into the demon cultivator's clothes. After preparing everything, he pulled the cart filled with boys and girls out of the courtyard and into a large hall 100 zhang away. Even before crossing the threshold, a strong stench of blood assaulted him. Chun Sansi looked up to see a bronze alchemy furnace towering in the dark hall. An old Taoist with disheveled hair sat cross-legged in a corner, a mortar of arm's length before him, pressing forcefully with a wooden pestle, producing a sound like pounding mud, with occasional spatters of blood that made one extremely uncomfortable. Chun Sansi didn't waste a word, striking decisively 7 steps away from the old man. Rebellious disciple seeking death? The old Taoist was startled, grabbing a hatchet from the side and chopping forward. In his eyes, he should have blocked the strike. Yet somehow, the coldly glinting sword edge pierced through his heart without resistance. Another clean kill. Soon after, another figure snuck in. Junior brother Lu, your disguise technique is miraculous. Not a single person stopped me on the way in. Brother Lu, Chun Sansi said. Later, I will disguise you as this old Taoist. Stay here without moving, and after my signal, carry the pill furnace to the death prison and meet me. Escaping the demon realm with hundreds of people is almost impossible. The best solution was Lu Jiong's accidental suggestion, putting everyone into a bag. A magical treasure that can store living beings is hard to find, but a pill furnace that can is within reach. This pill furnace before them, specially crafted by the Taotai sect, can not only refine living beings, but is also a space magic artifact. Once accomplished, storing the rescued individuals in the pill furnace will save a lot of trouble. Moreover, this pill furnace can mass-produce up to 200 elixir pills at once, making it a superb furnace for mass production, which can later be brought back to the Great Han for the alchemists of Doshui Temple to use. Even refining the 9 Revolutions Blood Amber pill requires a similar furnace, making it a dual-purpose acquisition. Chun Sansi quickly transformed Lu Jiong completely into the demon sect's old Taoist and then turned to walk out of the hall, heading straight for the death prison. Next, He only needed to cooperate with the demon-slaying sex members to complete the rescue mission, earning 400 copper coins. Li Feng. At the entrance to the death prison, 2 demon cultivators blocked the way. Brothers. Chun Sansi, disguised as an old Taoist disciple, said, Master asked me to fetch 2 potent medicines. Potent medicines? The demon cultivator said, You wouldn't be thinking of targeting that group of hostages, would you? That won't do. The other added, Those hostages were specifically ordered by Elder Yugu. Over 100 people. How could he know if 1 or 2 went missing? Chun Sansi took out 2 bags of spirit stones from his pocket and tossed them over. Brothers, do me this favor, and if you ever need elixirs, you can come to me. This. Seeing the abundant spirit stones, the 2's attitudes immediately changed. 3. The demon cultivator held up 3 fingers. No more than 3, and be quick about it. Elder Yugu is coming to pick them up at dusk today. Don't worry. Even if something happens, you can blame it on my master. Chun Sansi was allowed to pass and entered the dark corridor. Bribing his way with spirit stones along the path, he quickly found the area where the Tianshui cultivators were held. Looking around, 150 cultivators hung from stakes like straw men. After revealing his identity, Chun Sansi went to help each of them out of their predicament. Fellow Taoists, follow me to fight our way out. Fight! At the same time, disciples of the demon-slaying sect and Qingshu sect, who had been lying in wait outside, launched fierce attacks on the death prison from different directions, causing chaos over a radius of 10 miles. This Taoist Lu, a rescued cultivator, rushed out of the death prison, panting, How many of you are there in total? 10. Chun Sansi said calmly. 10? The crowd was shocked. Do you know how many demon clan troops there are inside and out? Our target is too large. We might not even escape. Lai Changxian, why so much nonsense? Lu Jiong arrived on time. A huge alchemy furnace rested on his shoulders. Everyone, jump into the alchemy furnace immediately. Buzz! The furnace opened, emitting a burst of purple light. All the weakened cultivators were sucked inside, leaving only a few skilled in various escape techniques outside. Chun Sansi hoisted the furnace tripod and led the group with the wind-splitting seal, retreating in the pre-planned direction. Suddenly, a rolling blood mist surged from the sky directly ahead, and even from over 10 miles away, everyone could feel the terrifying mana pressure. Not good. Lu Ji was aghast. It's a golden core cultivator. While everyone was at a loss, the overwhelming blood mist suddenly halted. Focusing their eyes, they saw a gray-robed man blocking the way. This is Dugu Ao? The cultivators recognized the man. Yes, it's Dugu Ao from the demon-slaying sect. Why is he here too? Great. Let's seize this chance and go. Wait. Lu Ji's pupils constricted. My sword is out of control. His flying sword began to tremble, not advancing an inch despite his incantations and spells. Next, it even showed signs of flying away. My sword too. Mine as well. The standardized flying swords of the Qingshu sect cultivators simultaneously became uncontrollable. Even as they grasped the hilts with all their might, they lost connection with them. At the same time, from high above, came a voice from an immortal that shook their hearts and souls. Upper Clarity sword. At the moment the voice fell, all the Upper Clarity flying swords in their hands completely lost control, each one flying towards the gray figure, like a Jiao dragon yearning to return to the sea. This. The Qingshu sect disciples exchanged looks, unable to believe the scene before them. The rumors were true. Even Chun Sansi was taken aback. That Dugu Ao could truly seize life-bound flying swords to use as his own. What kind of world-defying skill is this? What is the principle? Chun Sansi used the Qi observation skill to see a trace of spirit light born on the surface of all the flying swords, controlling them as they flocked to Dugu Ao, not simply snatching them, but as if the swords had spiritual intent, actively seeking a sanctuary. Unfortunately, he could discern some clues but could not grasp any of the essence. Shifting his gaze, Chun Sansi ceased to covet the divine skill and urged, "Forget the swords. Let's move." Not far away, Dugu Ao hovered in mid-air, upper clarity flying swords gathered like clouds behind him. In the blood mist ahead, an old man in a blood robe with a hooked nose emerged slowly. "Dugu Ao?" He narrowed his eyes, revealing a fierce gleam. "Prepare to meet your doom." Roar. With an ear-splitting roar, a fierce beast, transforming from the rolling blood mist behind Yugu Elder, lunged at the gray-robed man. Dugu Ao casually waved his sleeve, and the flying swords behind him whistled as they clashed with the beast. Boom! The two tides of mana collided, waves of air rippling outward from their epicenter, accompanied by a thunderous rumble, locked in a stalemate. Absolute shadow. From beneath the fox mask, a summoning echoed once more. Suddenly, thousands of blood-red flying swords surged up from Chongming City below to the heavenly dome. The Absolute Shadow Sword was the standardized flying sword of the Taotai sect. With a mass of additional swords joining the fray, the beast formed by the blood mist let out a wail yet managed to barely hold its ground. Elder Yugu formed incantation gestures, countering the sword technique while emitting a cold chuckle. What a so-called innate sword immortal, but alas, your sword immortal is diluted. Only a demon path golden core like me, and still a fake pill cultivator, forever without hope of a nascent soul. You old bastard, you sure do talk a lot. The voice from beneath Dugu Ao's mask was calm and indifferent. Even among demon path golden cores, there are differences. As soon as he finished speaking, a crimson-black golden core inlaid with gold was spat out from his mouth, emitting beams of light that enhanced the flying swords. The power of the sword array suddenly surged, and the fierce beast that had been holding on wailed in defeat, vanishing into smoke as it was pierced by 10,000 swords. The Jade Bone Elder staggered backward, his face showing shock and fear. How is this possible? I also have a demon path golden core. Wait. He looked at the suspended external core and suddenly remembered. This is the Reverse Life Gates 9 Revolutions Golden Core secret technique. It's you. It's you. I never expected. Dugu Ao looked at the old man, his voice tinged with weariness under the fox mask. The one fish that escaped the net back then, I've run into you here. Truly, this couldn't be easier. Jade Bone Elder felt as if he had fallen into an endless hell, too terrified to speak coherently, and turned to flee, only to see countless flying swords exploding with unprecedented sword chi. At the same time, Chun Sansi and the others were aboard a flying boat, escaping the range of Chongming City, encountering multiple assassination attempts along the way. Fortunately, the opponents were few, mostly late-stage Foundation establishment or chi refinement cultivators, and were easily defeated. At this moment, Chun Sansi stood at the bow of the ship, a yard-high alchemy furnace on his left shoulder, while his right hand held a stolen heavenly halberd. 20 more miles to pass through Whitebone Mountain and cross Tongtian River, and they would be free from danger. Yet, the closer they got to the destination, the more solemn Chun Sansi's expression became, showing no signs of relaxation. Because Chao Ji still hadn't shown up. Could the opponent have lured him here just to use killing intent? Just as he thought about this, a golden light suddenly appeared in the mountains below. Golden Core Martial Cultivator. In an instant, the golden light shot towards them. Dodge! Chun Sansi shouted, quickly positioning the alchemy furnace in front for defense before the golden light struck. Clang! The sound of a huge bell resonated through the mountains. Rolling true power exploded, shattering the flying boat into pieces, and Qingshu sect disciples retreated in panic to the sides. Chun Sansi's body was uncontrollably hurled backward, falling from 10,000 feet high, embedding himself and the massive alchemy furnace into the thick earth, raising clouds of dust, leaving a gigantic crater. He gritted his teeth, enduring intense pain to sit up and see clearly through the dust the appearance of the attacker. Family head by? The newcomer, clad in a black robe, had skin covered with scales of a dark sheen, a face of eerie ferocity, still recognizable, was the puppet by family master by Liangbi. now refined into a puppet. The dragon puppet wielded a pure golden broadsword, swiftly arriving and slashing down vigorously. Earth tunneling talisman. In a flash, Chun Sansi appeared 10 feet away, his mind flooded with various suspicions. This puppet should be in the hands of Chao Dongjun of the Seven Kill Sect. Why was it here? Moreover, if Chao Dongjun were present, there'd be no reason for him not to join the attack. Thus, it's highly probable this golden body puppet had already fallen into Chao Ji's possession. No wonder this bastard dared to make a move against me. Junior brother Lu. Lu Jiong came beside him. What is this thing? A martial cultivator of the golden body realm? You all go ahead. Chun Sansi didn't elaborate further. If they are kept here for too long, the pursuing troops from behind may catch up, making all previous efforts in vain. And in front of a golden body realm martial cultivator, Lu Jiong and his men are of no use and might become a hindrance instead. What about you? Lu Jiong hesitated. I won't die. Chun Sansi raised his voice. You just take the alchemy furnace and leave. As long as you return it to Si Shui Dao, it's 400 copper coins. If you delay any longer, everything will be lost. As he spoke, he handed over several wind-breaking talismans to speed them up. All right, then junior brother Lu, take care of yourself. Lu Jiong grabbed the talismans, hoisted the alchemy furnace from the ground, and left swiftly. Chun Sansi once again tunneled underground to evade the attack. But this time he couldn't escape so easily. Bai Liangbi's body surged with true power, transforming into a radiant golden body, his golden blade resounding like a jiao long, slashing forward almost in the instant Emperor Tianwu tunneled underground, the blade light cleaving mountains and splitting earth, penetrating the rocky soil. Underground, Chun Sansi wielded the heavenly halberd, barely fending off the blade light. The earth tunneling talisman was interrupted, and the soil which once flowed like water became impossibly hard, trapping his body within. He couldn't see outside, but he could feel the overwhelming true power approaching. Rumble! Chun Sansi shouted, bursting from the ground like a bolt of lightning, returning to mid-air. Without any chance to catch his breath, Bai Liangbi, wielding the azure dragon crescent blade, charged at him again. Good timing! Chun Sansi decided to stop avoiding. The earlier clash made his blood boil. His heart and liver transformed into transparent spiritual power. An unending torrent of true power surged forth, enhancing the heavenly halberd. He needed to buy time for Lu Jiong and the others while testing the gap between himself and the glazed gold body realm. Blood-burning technique. Bang! Chun Sansi stamped his foot. His body became a blur, in an instant arriving before the dragon puppet, raising the heavenly halberd infused with surging water element true power, like raising the Tongtian River to flood the earth. This pseudo-golden body realm martial cultivator puppet, left only with combat instincts and no distractions, was supposed to easily block a true power realm martial artist's move. But in its eyes, the halberd edge should have been successfully blocked, yet it missed, and by the time it came to its senses, a towering wave had already slammed down. Extreme divine power. But no matter how one puts it, there was a hard power gap between the two. Bai Liangbi didn't bother to withdraw his blade to block. Instead, he raised his right arm, palm like a dragon claw, unleashing overwhelming true power, launching a ferocious claw over his head, tearing the flooding ocean apart, forcibly dragging out a jiao long from the boundless sea, pinning its head down firmly. This jiao long turned out to be the heavenly halberd in Chun Sansi's hand. True power surged rampantly. Bai Liangbi's robe shredded piece by piece, revealing a golden, radiant demonic dragon arm to the view. He held the heavenly halberd firmly. The hard scales covering the dragon claw clashed with the halberd blade, producing a piercing metallic wail, until cracks began to appear on the surface of the heavenly halberd. 9 feet, Milky Way. In midair, Chun Sansi shouted, even his pupils and 7 orifices completely submerged by the tsunami. The water element true power on the heavenly halberd surged again, but it couldn't make the dragon puppet step back even a little. Instead, cracks increased on the heavenly halberd until it shattered completely. Boom! He retreated forcefully, the arm of the Vajra body embedding into the ground, stabilizing his form with one knee on the ground, as a trace of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. The brief clash had given Chun Sansi a clearer understanding of his current power. Even if he exerted his full strength, he was likely no match for a golden body puppet, the gap mainly lying in the richness of true power. If he reached the late-stage foundation establishment, coupled with true power perfection, even if he couldn't defeat a golden core but could retreat unscathed after the fight. Thinking of this, Chun Sansi no longer continued to engage. Seeing the puppet charging again, he formed a sword control sign with his hands, soaring into the air, activating the triple blood burning, his entire being suddenly transforming into a light of escape, leaving the puppet far behind, merging into the clouds, disappearing without a trace. In the forest several miles away, where Chao Ji had been lurking, ready to act at any moment, he was taken aback. Sigh! He threw away the half-eaten fruit in his hands in frustration. He got away! But is this guy really my brother? Doesn't matter. I still have to find another chance to kill him. Thinking so, Chao Ji was about to leave when he suddenly heard the sound of swords ringing. Catching in the corner of his eye a man wearing a fox mask silently appearing beside him. Chao Ji's body stiffened. Senior Dugu? He quietly retreated 2 steps back and squeezed out a wry smile. Why are you here? Why? Dugu Ao paused and added, Why do you insist on killing Lu Shengji? What grudge does he have with you? Chao Ji replied, The grudge of a destroyed nation? Does it count? Destroyed nation? Dugu Ao chuckled coldly. You're helping Chao Xie kill him, aren't you? Chao Ji remained silent. If I remember correctly, Chao Xie should be undergoing the heart tribulation soon and then finding a way to enter divinity transformation, right? At such a critical moment, instead of hiding and focusing on his cultivation, he comes out to deal with a junior from a barren land. Let me guess why. That minor foundation establishment cultivator must have become the heart tribulation of Taoist Master Wanfa, right? Speaking here, a mocking laughter came from beneath the fox mask. Chao Xie cultivated for hundreds of years, only to be tripped up by an oblivious youth. It's the funniest thing I've heard in decades. However, you might have gotten something wrong. That person just now was named Lu, not Chun. If you want to kill Chun Sansi, go to the eastern continent. Stop going after Lu Shengji. This young brother I've got covered. If the horse slave insists on killing, let him come personally and face me first. What is Senior Dugu's relationship with Lu Shengji? Chao Ji probed. Is it worth Senior personally saying such things? It's none of your business. Dugu Ao placed his hands behind his back. Remember what I said, then scram quickly. Senior Dugu. Chao Ji's pupils contracted and he increased his tone. Senior's divine skills are indeed formidable, but at the end of the day, it's just a golden core and an external elixir at that. It might suffice to reprimand a foundation establishment like me, but speaking presumptuously to my family's ancestor, I'm afraid Senior isn't qualified enough. Before he finished speaking, a morbid white sword appeared quietly in his hand. A refined blade crafted from human spine bone. The spine bone sword aggressively aimed at the front of the fox mask, while the puppet struck simultaneously. However, both attacks missed. Raising his head, Chao Ji saw Dugu Ao had already appeared at the treetop of a towering tree over 100 steps away, quietly overlooking him. Your sword? Dugu Ao asked. Does it have a name? My family ancestor forged it temporarily, hence it wasn't named. Chao Ji stood shoulder to shoulder with the dragon puppet, channeling mana into the spine-bone sword. He had long heard that Dugu Ao simply needed to summon a name to claim a flying sword as his own. But coincidentally, this sword happened to have no name. Dragon Bone. A deep voice suddenly echoed near his ears. Chao Ji's heart trembled. What did you say? I said. Dugu Ao pronounced each word distinctly. From now on, this sword will be called Dragon Bone. The moment the words Dragon Bone were spoken, Chao Ji felt the spine-bone sword in his hand starting to rampage, as if it had gained life, desperately trying to break free of his control. This puppet relies entirely on the spine-bone sword for control. If the sword is lost, he would undoubtedly meet his demise. Ancestor, aid me! Chaoji shouted. A talisman darted out from his bosom, transforming above his head into an array plate, which emitted radiant spirit light, deploying array seals to encase him. Under his feet, the heavens and earthly positions began to twist and transform. Though the spine-bone sword seemed uncontrollably to fly at Dugu Ao, it always circled within a set range, like a lost Jiao Long. Heaven and earth strange array plate? Dugu Ao snorted. Chao Sieda's care for you. Senior Dugu, we shall meet again someday. Chaoji exerted every effort to temporarily secure the spine-bone sword, daring not to linger. Manipulating the talisman array plate, he altered positions again, disappearing along with the sword and puppet without a trace. Looking toward the southwest woods, Dugu Ao refrained from pursuit, quietly watching the opponent's departure. Elder Dugu? Shangguan Siheng hurried over. Did you just discern where he's fleeing? Why let him go? Oh, suddenly realizing. This person seems to be Chao Xie's most valued descendant. If he were dead, Chao Xie might come rampaging in vengeance. Upon hearing this, Dugu Ao snorted coldly, annoyed. Horse slave means nothing. It's just that now isn't my time to act. See Shui territory, border. After a fierce battle, Shui Shinrong and others returned to Dragon Elephant City to exchange their recent copper coin earnings. 1,020 coins, ranked third. Great news! Song Jing exclaimed joyfully. At this rate, we'll gather enough creation jade due in 2 years at most. Thanks largely to the help of junior sister and senior brother. Shui Shinrong tapped his palm with a folded fan. But we can't slack off. The top and second-ranked copper coin numbers are still higher than ours. By the way, why haven't I seen Jiang Xie's name? Not listed. Senior brother Shui. Song Jing replied. I've seen Jiang Xie record her copper coins under Lu Shangji's name every time she's back. Where's that kid? Zhang Wuya scanned the heavenly Dao list, soon pinpointing the target. Lu Shangji, ranked 6th, 760 copper coins. He exhaled in relief. Speaking of which, where's he been lately? Haven't seen him? Song Jing commented. If I recall correctly, he's supposed to go to Mingquan Lake in chaotic wilderness Yongzhou for a rescue mission, but there's been no news for half a month. That 400 copper coin mission? Zhang Wuya said disdainfully. 80%. He's already dead. His words were barely finished when a few figures suddenly appeared in the sky above the gathering crowd in the arena. Upon closer inspection, it was Lu Zhiyong from Flowing Cloud Peak and a few sect members, carrying the alchemy furnace back to Dragon Elephant City, with a heavy crash onto the arena floor. Junior brother Lu? Weren't you supposed to be at Mingquan Lake? How did you come back? And why are you hauling such a big alchemy furnace? The people in the arena, including Su Yang, were shocked, quickly approached to inquire about the situation, and upon learning it was filled with abducted cultivators, they were all incredulous. In fact, these captured cultivators had basically been abandoned. The rescue mission was set up merely to put on a show for the others, to demonstrate that no disciple would be abandoned, encouraging everyone to fight desperately against the demon cultivators. Unexpectedly, someone actually rescued the prisoners. Where's Lu Shangji? Shui Shenrong, restless, stepped forward to ask. Junior brother Lu? Lu Zhiyong, with a despondent look mingled with guilt, said. He stayed behind for us. Not sure what happened to him. I told you. Zhang Wuya sighed with relief. Lu, for sure he'll die in. His sentence was interrupted once again. A figure appeared, controlling a sword as he descended onto the arena. It was Chun Sansi returning to Dragon Elephant City. Junior brother Lu. Lu Zhiyong hurriedly went to greet him. Are you all right? It's nothing. Chun Sansi, pale-faced, nearly fainted upon landing. He muttered to himself, this triple blood burning, if possible, it's better not to use it normally as it consumes too much. Anyway, he managed to return alive. The heavenly Dao rankings changed once more. First, loose cultivator Shin Tui, 1,320 coins. Second, Demon Suppression Department Xiang Baixian, 1,200 coins. Third, Qingshu Sect Lu Xingji, 1,190 coins. Fourth, Qingshu Sect Xue Xianrong, 1020 coins. Xue Xianrong's expression turned grim. Among the crowd, Shin Tui, wearing a raincoat holding a sword, cast an unfriendly glance at the Baihua Valley disciple who suddenly jumped to third place. Xiang Baixian of the Demon Suppression Department showed a particularly serious expression. Chun Sansi naturally noticed these things, knowing he had offended quite a few people again. But just like when he was in the Pyong army, he could not let the fear of making enemies stop him from moving forward and tying himself down. The copper coin numbers of the top four were closely contested. Chun Sansi did not waste time and planned to rest for a few days before continuing to earn copper coin. Back at the cave mansion, Dongfang Jingxing was waiting there, ready to report the general situation within the court over the past 2 years. Overall, it's a steadily improving situation. The number of cultivators in Skywall City has soared to over 8,000, and in 2 years it's expected to expand to 10,000. Unfortunately, the materials to create the official seals are lacking, currently only just over 3,000 official seals. Otherwise, with the Jade Emperor Sky Flipping Seal, it would be possible to confront enemies across realms. Chun Sansi still handed the material issue to Little Bamboo to find, as his primary task was obtaining the creation Jade Dew, then preparing for core formation. Besides this, a familiar figure within the court had passed away. Zhao Qiao, this uncle-level hunter from the same village as Chun Sansi, joined the army too old, eventually gave up cultivation and moved into logistics. After establishing the Great Han, he served under second brother Cheng Wei of the Ministry of Revenue, eventually appointed standard third-rank Vice Minister of Revenue. Until 2 months ago, overwhelmed by a severe illness, the imperial physicians failed to save him and he passed away. Convey my imperial edict. Chun Sansi said, posthumously honor Zhao Qiao as Marquis Hushan. Bury him with honor in Wuhao Palace. Include him among the Cloud Platform Pavilion Assistant Generals. Don't forget to inscribe his name on the heroic soul steel. If Zhao Qiao uncle's descendants have qualifications, make sure to bring them into Skywall City and tilt resources towards them to some extent. As you command. Dongfang Jingxing noted carefully. First one. This was the first among all those following Chun Sansi on his long journey, truly falling behind. Reflecting on Zhao Qiao's life, although without obvious merits, and not accompanying through various ups and downs in warfare, in reality, he was a logistics expert, working diligently and contributing no less than others. Go well. After parting with him in his heart, Chun Sansi did not dwell on this affair. He took some pills and began a short retreat. Cultivation technique. Swallowing fire technique. Mid-stage foundation establishment. Progress. 452/1000. 10 days later, he fully recovered and, as per Qingshu Sect's requirements, headed to Star Peak Mountain to join the battle. Now, the warfare was increasingly intense, with 3 golden core cultivators of the righteous side stationed day and night on the mountain, facing at least 3 waves of attacking demon armies daily. Chun Sansi and others relied on the mountain protection array, fighting against these demon armies until their mana was exhausted, before swapping out for recuperation. Repeating this, a month passed. Due to limitations in methods such as bow and arrow, along with various battlefield constraints requiring to stay in specific locations to fend off enemies, he could only earn a fixed amount of copper coin daily. Thus, Chun Sansi's accumulation of copper coin was quite slow, continually suppressed, and leading loose cultivator Shintui, responsible for guarding key positions where the demon army primarily attacked, managed to maintain first place due to his recklessness. Xue Xianrong and others' copper coin amounts were also rapidly increasing, seemingly poised to surpass. The former had arrived a few years earlier, while the latter included 3 people earning copper coin, plus Xiang Baixian from the Demon Suppression Department. Chun Sansi quickly realized he couldn't continue this way. He needed to find a faster way to accumulate copper coin. Mine Little Witch Mountain. This mountain's geographical position is crucial. Capturing it would connect Star Peak Mountain and Dragon Elephant City, mutually reinforcing, greatly alleviating the defensive pressure on Sishui path. Last time Elder Fengji attempted to attack, the demon cultivators immediately concentrated their forces on fiercely attacking Star Peak Mountain, ultimately forcing them to abandon the attempt. Yet due to this, the bounty on Little Witch Mountain was extremely high. If someone could capture it, they'd directly receive a reward of 1,000 copper coin. However, such a high reward implied it would not be simple. This day at dusk, after cleaning the battlefield, Chun Sansi returned to the steward hall inside the city to inquire about the task's details. Within Little Witch Mountain, a Golden Core early-stage cultivator from 7 Slaughter Sect was stationed, along with 4,000-strong demon army. To Chun Sansi, the Golden Core itself wasn't so terrifying. He only needed to reach the late-stage Foundation establishment within 2 years to be able to battle against it. What support can Dragon Elephant City provide? Chun Sansi asked. Surely you wouldn't expect me to capture a mountain alone, would you? Certainly not. The steward said, if you indeed plan to attack the mountain, the city can assign you 800 cultivators. Only 800? Chun Sansi took out the map, seriously stating, there's no tricky way to attack Little Witch Mountain. Direct confrontation is the only solution. Aren't 800 people too few? Sigh. The steward sighed. Inside and out, Dragon Elephant City barely has this number of people. Star Peak Mountain is just holding on. Where would we find extra manpower for you? And you don't need to kill all the demon cultivators on the mountain. Just settle with the Golden Core station there. This sounded easy, but even if Chun Sansi could sneakingly infiltrate, it's absolutely impossible to quietly resolve it, inevitably trapped in a fierce, uncertain life and death battle. At this point, the demon cultivators defending the mountain wouldn't just stand by, and he'd quickly find himself severely surrounded. Therefore, it's crucial to have a large force to help distract the demon army. All right, the steward said listlessly. This task was originally set to boost morale by the elders, without real expectation for our Foundation establishment group to defeat the Golden Core, so you won't be getting any more manpower. In fact, after the task was posted, many asked about it, but after knowing only 800 men were available, they all invariably abandoned it. Yet, for Chun Sansi, indeed he was not short-handed. Within Skywall City, the number of cultivators has already neared 10,000. After the battle in Bayongdao, they collected many jade tokens through various large marketplaces, so mobilizing a few thousand people here is not a difficult task. The only concern is how to avoid linking the identities of the Eastern Continent and Lu Shengji together. The identity as a disciple of the Qingshu sect still has its use for now, and even if it were to be abandoned, a flawless method must be sought to avoid implicating the master's wife and Baihua Valley. There is currently no such necessity. Chun Sansi quickly came up with a method, but before that, there was something else he needed to do. He must elevate his own realm to the late-stage Foundation establishment and true power perfection, and only then would he have the qualification to gamble with his fate. And to refine the 9-turn blood amber elixir, extreme cordyceps is indispensable. This item is only available for purchase in Immortal Ba Sect's territory, and the closest to the Sishui Dao is Yaisai Mountain. All cultivators within Dragon Elephant City are not allowed to leave without reason. Otherwise, they would be regarded as deserters. However, there are many missions requiring infiltration into the demon realm, which can be used as a facade. With this in mind, Chun Sansi went to the bulletin board in the dojo to choose a suitable mission. As expected, there were indeed missions around Yaisai Mountain, the general content being to procure a batch of medicinal materials for alchemy, with a moderate level of difficulty and average rewards but suitable for him. Boom! Just as Chun Sansi was about to collect the mission, he heard a loud noise suddenly coming from the direction of Star Peak Mountain outside the city. His expression turned stern, and immediately he saw the remaining cultivators in the city gathering en masse, flying towards the northwest direction. Everyone gather! A demon suppression department official stationed in the city used a lion's roar spell, and the sound echoed throughout the city. Naturally, Chun Sansi had to join them. Brother Su. In the crowd, he found someone he knew and asked, "What's happening?" "Something happened at Star Peak Mountain," Su Yang said, his expression grave. 2 hours ago, the demon realm and ancient demon clan reinforced their army to attack the mountain, opening a breach by Star Peak Mountain, and we're heading there to hold the line until the mountain protection array is fixed. Reinforced again? Chun Sansi nodded. For over 2 years now, the battle situation in Sishuedao had maintained a fragile balance. If there were further reinforcements, Dragon Elephant City would likely find itself in a very dangerous position. But for now, all he could do was act according to circumstances. Following the group to Star Peak Mountain, he indeed saw a dense swarm of demon cultivators attacking the mountain. These all are living copper coins. Without hesitation, Chun Sansi invoked the Shangqing sword and dove into the battlefield to fight. This chaotic battle lasted for a full 2 days. At a critical moment, Gue Yuan Sek's Master Feng Ji managed to repair the mountain protection array in time, temporarily stabilizing the situation. Both sides then entered a renewed stalemate. The demon cultivator army attacked the mountain protection array daily, while the righteous cultivators lay in wait behind the formation. During this period, all cultivators were forbidden to leave without permission. Every day, each had to guard Star Peak Mountain for at least 6 hours before returning to Dragon Elephant City to recuperate. Chun Sansi's plans to head to Yaisai Mountain were naturally put on hold. He spent half his time defending the mountain and half in seclusion training. His martial arts qualification was top-notch. After gaining enlightenment from Lord Taishan, his cultivation speed rose significantly. Cultivation techniques are written by people. The creator of a cultivation technique often writes it based on their situation. Even if people's meridian distributions are 99% similar, there's still a slight difference. Only by making subtle changes to the cultivation technique according to one's situation can it truly unleash its power. In just half a year, he adapted the cultivation technique to better suit himself. Additionally, with the aid of heavenly materials and earthly treasures cultivated by the Emperor's breath soil, his proficiency surged. Under the endless baptism of true power, a transformation began to occur above Chun Sansi's left abdomen, eventually refining one of the 5 viscera, the spleen, into glass, faintly shining with yellow light. Cultivation technique, Dragon Scripture, True Power Late Stage. Progress, 300 to 500. Spleen God, named Changzai, styled Haoding, located centrally, yellow in color, belongs to the earth element. Another one of the 5 gates has opened. Cultivation technique, Swallowing Fire technique, mid-stage foundation establishment. Progress, 505/1000. The progress on the immortal path was also steadily increasing. Bang bang. There was a pounding sound on the stone gate outside the cave mansion. Chun Sansi put away his long spear. "Who is it?" "Your master." Lord Taishan's voice came through. "Senior Mu." Chun Sansi opened the stone gate and saw the drunkard he'd not seen in over half a year, respectfully asking, "What advice do you have, senior?" "Advice my ass." Mu Chutai rushed in, his expression nervous. Come on, let's hurry and run away." "Run." Before Chun Sansi could ask, Lord Taishan continued, "Last night, demon cultivators outside Star Peak Mountain reinforced again, breached the mountain protection array and went on a killing spree. That useless Xue Jingfeng from Flowing Cloud Peak is gravely injured too. The fall of the city and loss of lives are imminent. If we don't flee, it'll be too late." "Elder Xue is injured?" Chun Sansi frowned. "How serious?" "Of no use anyway." Mu Chutai grabbed the disciple's arm. "Quickly, take your senior sister, and let's leave this hellhole together." "The senior is quite considerate of my senior sister." Chun Sansi joked, then seriously said, "But outside, there are many law enforcement hall cultivators overseeing. If we want to leave, we probably need to deal with them first. Then kill them." Mu Chutai said without a second thought, "Don't worry about causing trouble. As long as we make it back to the Qingshu sect alive, I'll have Zhang Huiqing cover for us. Let's wait a bit more." Chun Sansi shook his head. "Unless absolutely necessary, the younger generation doesn't want to give up easily." He had stayed here for several years, just barely touching the edge of the creation jade dew, so how could he readily leave? A rotten piece of wood cannot be carved. Mu Chutai watched the other still hesitating, stomped his foot anxiously, and finally came closer. How about this? If you don't want to leave, just send me and your senior sister away. How about that? Your sister Jiang is injured. She absolutely cannot stay here. Chun Sansi did not refute. In the past 6 months, he had rarely seen the blind woman. Apart from occasionally appearing on Star Peak Mountain, she seemed to be in seclusion most of the time recuperating. Senior Mu. He couldn't help but ask, why do you care so much about second senior sister? As your master, I have these divine skills that must be passed down, right? Lord Taishan gave the answer. Zhang Xie is the successor I've chosen. As for you, at best, you are an outer disciple. I see. Chun Sansi was half convinced and said, but as for escaping, I'm afraid I can't make a decision for senior sister. Although next time I see her, I will definitely ask her thoughts. Saying this, he bypassed Lord Taishan and left the cave mansion using sword control. Upon reaching Star Peak Mountain, he found that the situation was indeed very dire. After Xue Jingfeng was seriously injured, only 2 golden core cultivators were left to hold the fort, and the cultivator count was reduced to a little over 18,000. In contrast, although the demon cultivator army lost a single golden core to Dugu Ao, they reinforced their numbers and maintained 4 golden cores, with over 60,000 cultivators, almost 4 times that of the righteous faction. Star Peak Mountain's mountain protection array had become riddled with scars, and at this rate, it could only hold for another month before being overtaken, forcing everyone to retreat to Dragon Elephant City. If no reinforcements arrived by then, the entire Sea Shui path would very likely fall. Mingquan Lake was once the territory of Sky Water Continent long ago. Sitting uneasily in a patch of forest, Lu Jiong remarked, after we lost it back then, tens of thousands of cultivators became blood meals for the demon cultivators. Do you think this will be another Mingquan Lake? Yes, the mountain protection array is about to give out too. Someone echoed. I heard that over where the heavenly killing true monarch is, the situation is also tense. They might really abandon Sea Shui path. Then what do we do? For a moment, panic spread among the people. Chun Sansi eventually found the blind woman leaning on her sword by a creek and asked, how are your injuries, senior sister? Not fatal. Zhang Xie's calm tone held an air of cold indifference. Long used to her temperament, Chun Sansi didn't take it to heart and just said, if you can't hold on, maybe you could apply for a mission to return to the sect to deliver a message. If someone wants to escape, let them. I will not. Zhang Xie immediately guessed his intention and gave a firm answer. When she spoke the word, escape, there was obvious distaste in her voice. Hearing this, Chun Sansi understood that Lord Taishan must have privately tried to persuade her to flee. From her attitude toward Lord Taishan, it was as if he were a bitter enemy. If Mu Chutai truly only intended to pass on his divine skills, why would it be like this? There must be a deeper connection between the two of them. Now wasn't the time to inquire. Chun Sansi suppressed his curiosity and advised, let's put matters into perspective. Don't act rashly, senior sister. If it really becomes unbearable, I'll find a way to send you away. Using the Qi observation skill, he could clearly see a vermilion and ink-colored mysterious light flicker at her dantian, much like the symptoms from before at the bottom of Hundred Flowers Valley. Fellow disciples, no need to fear. A middle-aged man wearing a green magic robe and a gold medal at his waist appeared in the sky, his voice booming. This current predicament is temporary. We just need to hold on for 10 more days. In 10 days, our Emperor of the Song Dynasty will personally lead the court's elite forbidden army and march to Sea Shui Path to face the enemy. By then, all troubles will be resolved. With this announcement, everyone immediately began discussing energetically. Emperor of the Song Dynasty, the court's forbidden army? But I heard that army is only 5,000 strong? Emperor of the Song Dynasty? Chun Sansi didn't know much about him, only that his reign was called Tianxi, so he could simply refer to him as Emperor Tianxi. Emperor Tianxi was publicly acknowledged as being at the Golden Core middle stage. As for the Forbidden Army, it consisted of 5,000 cultivators. Long ago, the Holy Sect mandated that the Song Court's directly controlled cultivator army could not exceed 5,000. The Demon Suppression Department's members were numerous across the Sky-Water continent, but according to Holy Sect rules, they couldn't be concentrated in one place. For example, the Demon Suppression Department members in Beiyang Path could not gather with those from the neighboring path without special circumstances. Additionally, each Demon Suppression Department office had to have a Holy Sect disciple serving as deputy commander. Furthermore, with sects and cultivation families everywhere, the power of the Demon Suppression Department was quite limited, mostly managing mortal townsfolk at best. Returning to the matter at hand. If the Song dynasty could indeed mobilize the Forbidden Army, while 5,000 isn't a large number, their Golden Core count would be noteworthy. If more than 2 Golden Cores could be deployed, the pressure on Sishui Path would drastically decrease. With a few more Golden Cores, defending it wouldn't be a problem at all. Upon receiving this news, the spirit among disciples of the sects lifted significantly, and they became more diligent in defending the mountain. This was undoubtedly good news for Chen Sansi. Only with stability in Sishui Path could he think of ways to continue vying for the soul creation Jade Dew. 10 days might not be long or short, but the casualties among the righteous cultivators were increasing almost daily. Moreover, eerie incidents were beginning to occur at their rear in Sishui Path. The occurrence of dead villages was becoming more frequent. Initially, it was just a few scattered villages, then individual cities, and finally massive swathes of death spread like a plague throughout Sishui Path. Up front, there were the ravenous demon cultivator armies. At the back, mortal towns were piled with the dead. The psychological pressure on the cultivators grew day by day. But just as everything reached a critical point, the court's reinforcements from the Song dynasty finally arrived as promised. And moreover, they were not 5,000. They were 50,000. On this day, Star Peak Mountain's mountain protection array was utterly destroyed, just as the righteous cultivators, with no further defenses, were prepared for a desperate battle. In the skies above Sishui Path, an unexpected fleet of massive warships appeared, with the Forbidden Army densely arranged amidst the dark clouds. The Emperor of the Song dynasty, dressed in an entirely crimson dragon robe and a black crown, stood at the forefront of the great army. The situation reversed in an instant. Under the leadership of the Emperor of the Song dynasty, thousands upon thousands of troops descended from the heavens, repelling the demon army near Star Peak Mountain and restabilizing the front line. Wonderful! The surviving righteous cultivators were all overjoyed. 50,000! A full 50,000! Who would have thought this Tianxi Emperor of the Song would gather most of the Demon Suppression Department guards from throughout Sky-Water Continent to Sishui Path? It's solid now. But if I remember correctly, the Holy Sect had a rule that the Song Court wasn't allowed to assemble such a large number of Demon Suppression guards. Isn't this against the rules? Isn't this a special situation, though? That's true. Contrary to their discussion, Chen Sansi felt there was something strange about it. Assembling 50,000 demon suppression guards would require dispatches from all over Sky-Water Continent. It would be impossible to gather them in such a short time and deploy them to Sishui Path unless the Song dynasty had prepared in advance. They must have sent deployment orders to various places at least a year ago, so that when trouble arose in Sishui Path, they could immediately come together from different regions here. Of course, this righteous versus demonic war had been ongoing for years, and it wasn't impossible for the Song Court to prepare in advance. Yet, there were still aspects that were hard to reconcile. If the Song Court really reallocates all the personnel from the Demon Suppression Department, it would mean the rear becomes extremely vulnerable. The conflict between the righteous and the demonic is not only at the borders but within Tianshui as well, where there are numerous demon cultivators lurking. Without the Demon Suppression Department to watch over, chaos could easily ensue, even leading to major disturbances. Therefore, the Song Court's decision has many unreasonable aspects. But no matter how you look at it, the crisis in Sishui Dao has been temporarily resolved. After repelling the demon army, The array masters within the Song court invested significant manpower and resources to reconstruct the formation, restoring the situation to a standoff between the two armies. The rankings on the Heavenly Dao list changed once again. The first is still the loose cultivator Shintui, followed by the Demon Suppression Department's Xiang Baixian. And Chun Sansi's rank dropped from 3rd to 4th. On the battlefield, he couldn't exert his full power, so naturally, he lost his advantage, especially since Xue Xinrong was a combined effort of several people. The best way to overtake them is to find a way to acquire those 1,000 copper coins from Little Witch Mountain. Moreover, with reinforcements arriving at Si Xue Dao, no one knows if Emperor Tianqi will send others to reclaim Little Witch Mountain, so he must act swiftly. As the sun set, Chun Sansi left Star Peak Mountain, planning to return to Dragon Elephant City to recuperate, but was blocked by the Forbidden Army halfway. Stop! 2 men, standing on large black-beaked dark eagles, blocked the way with their spears. This area is air-restricted. Please take a detour. Air-restricted. Chun Sansi looked through them and gazed below, seeing that the southern peak was filled with people from Song Dynasty inside and out. If he recalled correctly, this should be the Imperial Mausoleum of the Song Dynasty, which had suffered considerable damage when Star Peak Mountain fell. Now that Emperor Tianqi of Song personally arrived, it was likely for repairs and maintenance. And indeed, when Chun Sansi detoured back to the city dojo, he saw a new task posted on the bulletin board. Repair and guard the Imperial Mausoleum, 10 copper coins daily. To earn 10 copper coins through enemy kills would require slaying 100 early-stage Qi refining demon cultivators or 10 at the late stage. And this task only needed you to stay at the mausoleum, doing nothing, essentially earning money lying down. Such a good deal made almost everyone scramble, including Su Yang and Lu Jiong, who signed up wanting to guard the mausoleum. However, not everyone could go. They needed to pass the layers of selection by the Forbidden Army. Chun Sansi wasn't tempted, though. Getting 10 free copper coins a day was nice, but that would mean he'd have no chance of being the first to gather 2,000 copper coins. Now that the situation is stable, cultivators can already take on external missions. He followed the original plan, accepting the task to go to Yaisai Mountain, preparing to set out early the next morning. That night, Chun Sansi worked tirelessly to draw talismans and carve puppets, making full preparations for the trip. "Are you packing up to flee?" At midnight, a raspy voice suddenly sounded behind Chun Sansi. The long-dan bright silver spear appeared in his hand instantly, and he turned to see a familiar fox mask. He frowned and said, "Senior Dugu, Taoist Shangguan? Please understand, Brother Chen." Shangguan Sihung explained, "Dragon Elephant City is heavily guarded. We couldn't notify in advance, so we had to visit suddenly." Chun Sansi put away the spear and gestured for them to sit. "You two came uninvited at this late hour? It must be something urgent? Leave here." Dugu Ao picked up a drawn talisman paper and examined it in his hand. "If nothing unexpected happens, something big will go down in Si Xue Dao." Chun Sansi pondered for a moment and speculated, "Is it related to the Song court?" "That's correct." Shangguan Sihang stepped closer, lowered his voice, and said, "Do you know why Emperor Tianqi of Song suddenly brought people to see Xue Dao? If it's not to fend off the demon cultivator army." Chun Sansi paused. "Then there's trouble internally? Song is doomed." Shangguan Sihang made a startling statement. Just recently, the Holy Sect suddenly initiated an investigation against the Song court. Years ago, the matter of Emperor's breath soil in Beiyang Dao was brought to light, accusing Song of attempting to secretly hoard treasures, indicating rebellion. Although Emperor Tianqi blamed the missing 8th Prince Zhao Sun for the incident, who knows if he himself is not implicated. The Holy Sect issued an immortal decree to summon Emperor Tianqi to Kungsu for questioning, and then he led the people from the capital city to Dragon Elephant City. But that's of little use, at most it can only buy time. After the nascent soul cultivators from the sects have freed themselves, they will send people to Dragon Elephant City. Given this, Si Xue Dao will truly fall into chaos. Given Chun Sansi's own experience in the military rebellion, he naturally understands the intricacies of such matters. Emperor Tianxi suddenly bringing all controllable personnel to the border clearly indicates preparation for rebellion against the holy sect. Where does such confidence come from? The Song court, at most a golden core sect. How will they deal with even two nascent souls from the holy sect? Either Emperor Tianxi is making a last-ditch struggle, or he has some trump card in hand. Regardless of which, it's not good news for Chun Sansi. He asked, "When will people from the holy sect arrive?" "It might not be the holy sect." Duguao continued, "I just received the news that not long ago, Chao Xie of the Heavenly Sword sect specifically went to the holy sect. After his return, he gathered disciples and placed the dispersed descendants of the Chao family near the Song capital." Sure. Here is the translated text. HTML. What do you think he wants to do? Chun Sansi replied solemnly, "A change of dynasty. This horse-keeping slave, having gotten used to being an emperor on the eastern continent in his early years, now finally getting a bit of fame, wants to continue enjoying the feeling of being above tens of thousands." Dugu Ao mocked, "If he truly manages to succeed in divinity transformation, he might even attack the holy sect in the future and seize the ascension platform." Holy sect? Chun Sansi questioned with doubt. Would they agree to let him establish his own sect? Above the mortal realm, there are upper realm immortals. These immortals sit afar in the 9 heavens, overlooking the mortal world, selecting some descendants, giving a degree of assistance. A cold snort came from beneath the fox mask. That Chao, 9 out of 10, has contacted the upper realm immortals, thus obtaining leverage to negotiate with the holy sect. Chun Sansi fell into thought. If Chao Xie truly came personally later, his identity as Lu Shengji might not be secure. After all, without the mistress and the supreme elder of the Qingshu sect, even if the opponent truly believes in better wrong than letting go, there might be no way. This further strengthened Chun Sansi's resolve to use all means to obtain the creation Jade Dew, then leave this place. "Are you still unwilling to go?" Duguao saw through his thoughts. "Well then, anyway, I've delivered my message. I have other matters to attend to. Take care of yourself." "Please wait, senior," Chun Sansi said. "I may need to borrow the name of the demon-slaying sect next." "Suit yourself." Duguao didn't even ask how he would borrow the name, and swiftly left the cave mansion with Shangguan Siheng. Before leaving, he added, "Also, remember to be cautious of that kid carrying the golden puppet." The puppet indeed was in Chao Ji's hands. Chun Sansi was not surprised, but upon receiving the demon-slaying sect's approval, he began making arrangements in his mind regarding Little Witch Mountain. The next morning, he arrived at the dojo, preparing to enter his name into the registry before leaving Dragon Elephant City for the chaotic wilderness Yongzhou. Upon arriving at the steward hall, he saw a familiar figure departing from it. It was Chao Ji and a disciple from the Guiyuan sect. Chun Sansi stepped aside into the crowd, watched the pair gradually move away, then re-entered the steward hall to take a task. "You also need to go to Yaisai Mountain?" The old steward pointed outside. 2 Guiyuan sect members just took that task. "You mean Chao Ji?" Chun Sansi probed. "Yes, precisely, the descendant of that heavenly killing true monarch." The old man said, "You know him? Great, you can team up with him, you'll be safer that way." "I don't know him, just heard of him." Chun Sansi shook his head, said, "Since he's going to Yaisai Mountain, I'll head to Yellowstone River then." He took another task, immediately left the dojo, and tracked in the direction of Chao Ji. Last time he was passive, this time he would be proactive. Rather than waiting for the opponent to hide behind and shoot him down, it's better to act from the shadows. Outside Dragon Elephant City, Chao Ji and Beilija flew side by side, controlling their swords. Did junior brother Chao nearly lose his life to that Lu last time? Don't mention it. Recalling the last incident made Chao Ji a little fearful. If not for the Grand Ancestor granting him a talisman for protection, he feared he would have been refined into a demon path golden core by Duguao by now. Then, Beilija said, "Do we still target Lu Shengji?" "He must be killed," Chao Ji said without hesitation. He had already offended the person. Even if mistaken, he could only proceed wrongly. Besides, he had a golden puppet by his side. Yet even this task couldn't be accomplished. It was indeed shameful. Currently, Chao Ji relied on the Grand Ancestor, but he had to prove his value. No one likes a loser. This has always been the way within the imperial family. The Grand Ancestor had favored him in recent years only because no other heirs with extraordinary talent had appeared. If Chao Ji could not prove his ability, he would eventually be treated as an abandoned piece. As long as Lu Shengji remains in Si Shui Dao, chances will eventually arise. He paused. However, let's first handle the current matter. Elder Fengji is ahead. Do not keep him waiting. The two quickened their pace, entering the desolate mountain below one after another. An elder with white hair drooping over his chest had been waiting for some time. Upon seeing the two disciples, he flicked his finger, sending a ray of golden light into the disciples' foreheads, saying, "The person has been found. Follow the information given by me. Make sure to bring them back, alive or dead." "No worries, Elder Fengji," Chao Ji promised. "The disciple will definitely not mess this up. This matter is of great importance." Master Fengji said, "Only by finding this person can we convict Emperor Tianqi. So be diligent. Go now." "Yes." Chao Ji cupped his hands, once more used sword control, leading his fellow disciple, vanishing into the horizon. After they left, Master Fengji took out a sound transmission talisman, crushing it, transforming into a golden Dharma seal. The voice of the Supreme Elder of Guiyuan sect immediately sounded, "Junior brother, how's the situation?" "Chao Ji has already gone to fetch the person." Master Fengji said, "I'm here watching over Emperor Tianqi. Everything is progressing smoothly. You can rest assured. Once the matter is accomplished, our Guiyuan sect will be allies with Chao Xie. And in the future, when the Immortal Festival is established, we will receive ample benefits." They received information that Chao Xie had the support of upper realm immortals, destined to top heaven water and ascend. Therefore, they early on relied on Chao Ji's relationship to invest in that Wanfa Dao Jun, seeking the Guiyuan sect's Millennium Taoist inheritance. However, the Supreme Elder Huang Laojiu did not respond to this. Instead, he asked, "I wasn't asking about that. I was asking, is Chun Sansi dead yet?" "Chun Sansi?" Master Fengji was stunned. "There's only a Lu Shengji here, with Zhang Huiqing protecting him. We'll need to find an appropriate opportunity. Don't delay any longer." Huang Laojiu's hoarse voice contained urgency. "Even if we mistakenly kill 1,000, find a way to bring that kid out and kill him quickly. Senior brother, please." Master Fengji was indifferent. "You needn't be so anxious. Even if we have a blood feud with that kid with the surname Chen, he is still just a Foundation Establishment cultivator." "Foundation Establishment?" Huang Laojiu interrupted. "According to my estimates, that kid might even be on the verge of core formation. If not removed, he will eventually be a serious threat to our Guiyuan sect." All right, Master Fengji said impatiently. "Once the matter with Emperor Tianqi is resolved, I will personally find a way. Don't underestimate the newer generation. There's a saying in the mortal world, the young should not be underestimated. Understand? With your attitude, you may well end up falling into his hands." "Humph." Master Fengji did not continue listening, waved his sleeve to scatter the sound transmission talisman, remarked disdainfully, "A coward." 10 miles away, Chun Sansi retracted his gaze from Fengji Zhenren. What are these people conspiring? Fearing that the divine sense of golden core cultivators would detect someone spying, he deliberately kept a great distance, unable to hear the conversation of these people. Better follow them first. Chun Sansi quickly made up his mind, deployed the wind-splitting seal, and flew towards the direction where Chao Ji had left. He quickly saw the figures of the two, kept a safe distance, following them all the way to the Tianshui border, passed through Tongtian River, and into the demon realm's chaotic wilderness Yongzhou. What are these two doing at Yaisai Mountain? Surely they aren't just performing a task, right? Chun Sansi reckoned in his mind 9 out of 10. It's related to the matters of Emperor Tianqi. This is similarly tied to his situation. It should be understood clearly. Moreover, he is currently in the shadows. If he could find a chance to eliminate Chao Ji, it would resolve a trouble. Although Chen Sansi is currently no match for the dragon puppet, if he can get close to Chao Ji personally, within 3 or 5 exchanges, he's certain he could kill him. With this in mind, he preemptively concealed his appearance, slung the purple thunder bow on his back, and observed the two's actions in secret, waiting for the right moment to act. After entering the chaotic wilderness Yongzhou, the golden body realm puppet appeared and began following Chao Ji closely, almost never leaving his side. For 7 consecutive days, Chen Sansi trailed them all the way from the border to Yisai Mountain. After passing through the valley ahead, they officially entered the domain of the Immortal Ba sect. The Immortal Ba sect, also known as the Corpse Refining sect, is notorious even within the entire demon realm. They not only collect blood taxes but also subject their disciples to inhuman torment before turning them into corpse puppets, often capturing disciples from other demon sects for this purpose. The power of the Corpse Refining sect is considerable, comparable to the status of the Three Heavens sect on the Skywater continent. This place is just one of their many subordinate regions. As they passed by the mortal town, they saw eerie villages and vast graveyards everywhere, with evil qi and yin qi entwined between the heavens and the earth. From start to finish, Chen Sansi couldn't find a suitable opportunity to attack Chao Ji, so he could only keep following them. After wandering about, Chao Ji and his companion finally entered the Yisai Mountain Market. From several miles away, Chen Sansi saw all around the desolate mountains there were pitch-black coffins on display. But these were not graveyards. Rather, they are cultivation sites relying on yin veins. Each coffin is a cave mansion able to absorb yin qi and moonlight. The cultivation methods of corpse cultivators are very peculiar. They often cultivate a certain technique while alive, consuming their own lifespan so that after death, their soul remains with their body, turning into a zombie. Their lifespans are long, but correspondingly, the cost is that when breaking through realms, they must face a heavenly tribulation several times more powerful. Disguised as a loose cultivator from the demon realm, Chen Sansi blended into the market and saw Chao Ji and his companion begin purchasing supplies. Since they chose a task token as a cover, they naturally needed to complete the task first. Taking this opportunity, Chen Sansi also stepped into a medicinal shop to purchase the 1000-year extreme yin cordyceps he needed. 1000-year. The shopkeeper was a corpse cultivator with a deathly pale face, speaking with a stiff tone. Taoist, such an aged extreme yin cordyceps is not cheap. He extended his hand, quoting an astronomical price. Chen Sansi had the emperor's breath soil and could have bought a seedling, bringing it back for Yun Huan to cultivate. But since he was pressed for time to refine an elixir, he couldn't afford to waste time and had to spend a large amount of money to buy it ready-made. I didn't bring that many spirit stones, but I can trade something, Chen Sansi said, opening a box to display a heavenly material and earthly treasure emitting a brilliant spirit light. This 1000-year blood residue charcoal should be sufficient, right? The shopkeeper's eyes lit up clearly, but he still feigned reluctance. Extreme yin cordyceps can only be found at our Yisai Mountain, but your blood residue charcoal is produced in more than one place. Chen Sansi understood the other's intentions, and given the current situation, he had no time to argue. He simply said, "How much do you think is still lacking? Just say it." Hee. The shopkeeper got what he wanted, a stiff smile appearing on his face as he was about to make an exorbitant demand, only to be interrupted by someone else. "Hold on. Give it to me. I will trade you the 1000-year extreme yin cordyceps and additionally give you 10 middle-grade spirit stones." Chen Sansi turned around to see a middle-aged man with short whiskers and draped in a black robe. This person, he recognized him. Years ago, Chen Sansi had encountered this man during a raid led into the Medicine Valley within the Bai family's Dusk Valley. It was none other than the 8th prince of the Song dynasty, Zhao Sun. How did he end up here? Thinking carefully, it made sense, considering this guy had been colluding with the demon cultivators of the Seven Kills sect for a long time. The shopkeeper, seeing the cooked duck fly away, was immediately furious and said, "Who are you? Do you have a say here?" "Pa!" Zhao Sun didn't speak, merely slammed a gold medal engraved with the word demon onto the counter. "Ah, so Taoist is from the immortal Ba sect." The shopkeeper was taken aback, his stiff face squeezing out a flattering smile. "It's my eyes that failed to recognize Mount Tai. I beg Taoist's pardon." Zhao Sun snorted coldly, ignoring him, and looked back at the stranger loose cultivator, saying solemnly, "Taoist, are we doing this deal or not?" "Of course." Chun Sansi smoothly completed the transaction with him. Zhao Sun was very satisfied, stored away the items, and said in a deep voice, "Taoist, if you have more similar items for trade, you can come to the Armor Division Cave Mansion to find me." "Absolutely." Chun Sansi repeatedly agreed. Zhao Sun turned and left, heading directly towards Yaisai Mountain. Just as he disappeared around a corner, two figures followed closely behind. Is Chao Ji's target Zhao Sun? Witnessing this, Chun Sansi speculated in his mind. If so, this matter likely involves the court of the Song dynasty. Let's watch and wait. He inconspicuously followed the group. After leaving the market, Zhao Sun entered Yaisai Mountain, where coffin forests stood densely. Chao Ji and his companions stopped behind, discussed in whispers for a moment, then returned, rented a cave mansion near the market, and settled directly at Yaisai Mountain. Clearly, they hadn't found an opportunity to act against Zhao Sun yet. Yaisai Mountain, as a large Tier 3 in vein market, had at least 2,000 cultivators inside and outside, plus golden core demon cultivators in residence. If something happened and they couldn't leave in time, even a golden core cultivator would find it difficult to escape. Chun Sansi thought about it and decided to temporarily rent a cave mansion in the market as well to make it easier to continue tracking them. The cave mansions in Yaisai Mountain Market are divided into two tiers. One is what was seen earlier, with dense coffins laid out among the forest. The other is a large tomb. The space of the tomb is larger, the density of Inchi is higher, and the coffins are of superior quality. Chun Sansi is not accustomed to such Inchi, so he can only practice various skills within it while keeping an eye on the movements of others. Zhao Sun's schedule is very regular, basically going into seclusion for 10 days before going to the market to buy elixir pills once. During this process, his appearance gradually changed, looking more and more like a living corpse, most likely practicing some corpse cultivation technique. Such a stakeout continued until 40 days later. Zhao Sun finished purchasing elixir pills at the market and did not leave directly, but planned to leave Yaisai Mountain. The opportunity finally arrived. Chao Ji and his companion immediately followed. Chun Sansi could clearly see that the one named Chao wanted to attack Zhao Sun once they were out of Yaisai Mountain's range. It was his perfect opportunity to use one person to get rid of another. He formed a seal with his hands, casting the blood-burning technique. His controlling speed suddenly increased, bypassing Chao Ji and his companion, reaching Zhao Sun's flank. "Taoist!" Chun Sansi shouted loudly. "Someone's following you from behind. Is it you?" Zhao Sun recognized the loose cultivator who had recently exchanged heavenly materials and earthly treasures with him. He hovered in mid-air with a frown. "You say someone is following me. What do you mean?" "Several hundred zhang away, in the clouds." "Damn it!" Chao Ji, lurking in the mist, looked at the scene in front of him and cursed. "Who is this person who came out of nowhere? How did he see through us?" Then, Beilija stammered, "What should we do now? If we start fighting, I'm afraid the people in Yaisai Mountain will quickly surround us. It's come to this, we must fight." A dragon bone sword, refined from spine, silently appeared in Chao Ji's hand, and the dragon puppet beside him turned into a golden light, violently shooting forward. "Mr. Zhao, be careful." Chun Sansi took out a magic artifact shaped like a mo blade from his storage bag, savagely hacking towards the golden light. Zhao Sun summoned a Yenue blade identical to the dragon puppets, standing shoulder to shoulder with the loose cultivator. Boom! The forces of both sides clashed together. Chun Sansi and Zhao Sun were both sent flying backward, scattering countless clouds in midair. Just one exchange was enough for both to have numb arms and chaotic breathing. Golden puppet? Zhao Sun exclaimed in surprise. Isn't that Chao Dongjuan's dragon puppet? How can it be here? Brother, come with me. Chun Sansi pulled the 8th prince onto his flying sword, using the blood-burning technique to escape towards Yisai Mountain. He deliberately maintained a certain speed to let the golden puppet think it could catch up, so it wouldn't give up. Meanwhile, on Yisai Mountain, coffins suddenly opened. Countless corpse cultivators swiftly gathered towards this place. Junior brother Chao. Bailey just shouted loudly, "If we don't leave now, we won't be able to leave." Chao Ji understood. Gritting his teeth, he commanded the dragon puppet to retreat. Want to leave? Chun Sansi's hands formed seals as fast as afterimages, and array flags flew out of his sleeves, swimming through the air like azure carps, trapping Chao Ji and the dragon puppet within, as the clouds above the sky surged towards them like a tsunami. Second tier enchanting soul formation. He is not merely a martial artist or cultivator, but also a talismanic master and array master. Chao Ji, deep within the sea of clouds, no matter how he flew, remained unable to escape this range. Dragon puppet. The dragon bone sword in his hand shone with crimson light. The golden puppet began wielding its long blade, true power flowing endlessly, blade lights ripping through the sky, trying to break the formation with brute force. But due to Chao Ji's lack of understanding in formations, the efficiency was extremely low. By the time he forcibly broke out of the formation, the first group of corpse cultivators had already arrived. The golden puppet slashed a few blocking corpse cultivators in half with one strike, then attempted to clear a path for its master's escape. But just then, an orb of black chi descended from the sky, like a black sun falling, fiercely crashing towards Chao Ji's head. The golden puppet hurriedly returned to shield its master, the azure dragon crescent blade slashing upwards, dispersing the black mist. In the black mist was surprisingly a golden core corpse cultivator. This corpse cultivator was rotund, with a cyan-tinted body, and had fierce tusks in his mouth, carrying a lustrous black tombstone on his back. Elder Deng, Zhao Sun shouted loudly, "Quickly take him down!" Boom! Without a word, Elder Deng had already raised the tombstone and was battling fiercely with the dragon puppet. Under his control, the massive tombstone continuously smashed down, moving so fast that the naked eye could only see its afterimages. His realm was at the golden core middle stage, and being a formidable corpse cultivator, he wasn't at a disadvantage while facing the golden puppet of a martial artist. More and more corpse cultivators gathered around, forming an alliance wielding rusty flying swords to besiege Chao Ji and his companion. "Brother, let's join forces," Zhao Sun said as he joined the fray. Chun Sansi's figure flickered, and he appeared before the remnants of the previous dynasty, swinging a mo blade like ink, aiming directly for the head. The puppet couldn't protect its master, and Chao Ji was no match for him. Immediately, he summoned the talisman given by his ancestor. "Heaven and Earth Strange Gate," he shouted. Layers of 9 palace 8 diagram array patterns spread beneath his feet, and he said to his companion, "Let's go. Help me." However, what responded to him was a cry of despair. Senior brother Bailey was wrapped tightly by chains thrown by the corpse cultivators, unable to move despite struggling desperately. He screamed, "Junior brother Chao, save me. Senior brother Bailey, see you in the next life." Chao Ji hesitated not at all, activated Heaven and Earth Strange Gate, and swiftly vanished with the puppet. Chun Sansi's blade fell, hitting nothing. Damn it! Falling short of success, he couldn't help but feel regretful. To think that this scoundrel carried a talisman, and it was most likely a good item from the horse breeder. Only senior brother Bailey remained captured in the sky above. "You scoundrel!" Zhao Sun rushed forward, grabbing the opponent's neck. "Who are you, and why did you try to assassinate me?" Bailey Zhe, who was abandoned, looked bitter. With a large and thick palm, Elder Deng heavily pressed down on Bailey Zhe's top of the skull, began exerting force, infusing streaks of black chi forcibly into his body through the skull. Ah! Bailey let out a heart-wrenching howl, his skin visibly losing its color, turning a corpse-like gray. Corpse chi. Once this chi invades the body, it can corrode life, causing a living person to necrotize starting from internal organs and meridians. I'll talk. Bailey couldn't bear it, soon confessed. A cunning horse breeder. Zhao soon cursed. He actually wants to catch me for soul searching, to serve as evidence and let the holy sect issue an extermination order against my Song dynasty. It's not my fault. Bailey pleaded. I was merely following the sect's orders. Zhao Sun wouldn't listen to his nonsense, slicing his head off with a blade, and only then did his rage slowly subside. He cupped his fist towards the corpse cultivator. Thank you, Elder Deng, for your timely rescue. 8th Prince, you're too kind. The golden core cultivator showed him great respect. But since the horse breeder has been eyeing you recently, it's better not to move around freely for now. He cast his gaze to the side. And this Taoist is unfamiliar to me. Oh, Zhao Sun said. This fellow Taoist had interacted with me before, and thanks to his timely alert today, otherwise I might have fallen into the hands of that Chao fellow. I see. Elder Deng didn't ask further. This brother, Zhao Sun said. My surname is Zhao, given name Sun. May I ask your full name? I am surnamed Sun, given name Yen. Chun Sansi casually fabricated. Mr. Sun is a loose cultivator. Zhao Sun invited. Just right. Would you like to join our Song dynasty? I will guarantee you the position of immortal marquis in the future. Song dynasty? Chun Sansi feigned ignorance. Brother Zhao means the court of Skywater continent? Exactly. Zhao Sun said. Don't consider our Song dynasty as just a second-tier sect. Soon, our Song dynasty will become a true immortal dynasty. Joining the court only has benefits and no drawbacks. The true immortal dynasty? Chun Sansi feigned confusion. Brother Zhao, what are you saying? Little brother really doesn't understand. Isn't the Song dynasty court the only immortal dynasty in the Skywater continent? Heh. Zhao Sun sneered. I am not afraid of being laughed at by my brother. For thousands of years, my Song name is Immortal Dynasty, but in reality it's a puppet. Whenever some good thing appears in the mortal world, it is not the court's turn to have it. Instead, there is a heap of dirty and exhausting work that the court must handle. If it were just this, it would be fine. The 3 great heavenly sects worry about a great power arising in my Song, so not only do they limit resources, but they also frequently suppress my imperial family. From Lizong onward, through Rinzong, Suzong, Daizong, all the way to Lingzong and Xianzong. For thousands of years, through successive dynasties, who knows how many have fallen due to the holy sect's scheming. Such days should end. End? Chun Sansi probed. Could it be that the Song is going to attack the holy sect? To put it accurately, it's to counterattack the heavenly water. Zhao Sun spoke solemnly. Do you know of Si Xuedao? It is where my Song's old capital was, and also the beginning of rebuilding the Song. I naturally know of Si Xuedao. Chun Sansi said, but aren't there many sect personnel stationed there? They're all as good as dead. Zhao Sun paused. As for how to start this, forgive me for not being able to say more. In short, my Song is at a time when it needs people. I see your strength is not bad. As long as you join, your immortal path in the future will be limitless. Thank you, Brother Zhao. Chun Sansi made up an excuse to tactfully refuse. I have some personal grievances to resolve. Once they're settled and if I survive, how about I come to join you? Very well. Zhao Sun nodded and did not force him. Then I shall await your good news here, dear brother. Farewell. Chun Sansi clasped his hands in parting, soared straight into the clouds, and after leaving Yisai Mountain, headed directly toward Yellowstone River. Previously, to avoid suspicion, the task location he claimed was not in this place. Now that he was returning to Dragon Elephant City, he naturally needed to complete the mission. The mission at Yellowstone River wasn't complicated. It merely involved purchasing some artifact refining materials. There were no disruptions along the way, so he smoothly accomplished the goal and turned back home. This time visiting Yisai Mountain, it's a pity he couldn't directly deal with Chao Ji, so he still needs to find another opportunity later. But fortunately, he obtained the extremine fungus, enabling him to refine elixir pills, seclude himself in cultivation, and break through to the late-stage foundation establishment. Afterward, he would be able to attack Little Witch Mountain and take the Creation Jade Dew. Once everything is completed, the best choice is to leave this place and move far away. This is no longer simply a righteous and demon war or an internal turmoil of the righteous path, but rather a secret collusion between the Song Dynasty court and the demon sect, or perhaps the Song Dynasty itself is a hidden demon sect. They have left a large number of personnel here. If colluding with the demon realm, even Guiyuan sect and Qingshu sect's small manpower might only be cannon fodder. Chun Sansi certainly cannot stay here to face death. He must accelerate the plan. After flying for several days, he returned to the Si Shui Dao within and first came to a mortal tavern, summoned a group of servants, and instructed, "Little Bamboo, you lead a part of the people, infiltrate into chaotic wilderness Yongzhou, and next, under the guise of demon-slaying sect, attack the demon sect every day. Remember, it's only to attract attention. Do not become entangled in battle. Shunzi, Sima Yao, Senior Sister 9, you all do the same. Create disturbances in various places to make it seem as if the demon-slaying sect has many people here." "Yes, sir." After making arrangements, Chun Sansi returned to the Dao field of Dragon Elephant City and submitted the completed task. Junior brother Lu. Su Yang happened to meet him, initiated conversation. "Want to go to the Imperial Mausoleum together? Recently, they're going to recruit another batch of personnel, and task rewards are also rising. With your realm, joining shouldn't be an issue." "I heard," Chun Sansi said. "If one goes to the Imperial Mausoleum, they are not allowed to leave Imperial Mausoleum Mountain without permission?" "Yes, Lu Jiong went to the Imperial Mausoleum some time ago, and there's been no news since," Su Yang said. "But this is normal. The repairs of the Imperial Mausoleum require rebuilding formations, and to prevent potential sabotage, the location must remain hidden, so clearly it can't be disclosed easily. There's something fishy inside." This was Chun Sansi's first thought. "I plan to seclude myself for a while next, so I won't be going to the Imperial Mausoleum." He took the medicinal ingredients back to the cave mansion, first drafted a letter for the bluebird to deliver to the teacher, expressing his suspicions about Si Shui Dao, and also instructed the Skywall City Black Ice Platform to collect intelligence from all over the Skywater continent, keeping an eye on developments from all sides, then began to seize every moment to enhance his strength. Due to the arrival of the Song Dynasty court, the apparent defensive pressure on Si Shui Dao has significantly reduced, so cultivators no longer need to station at Star Peak Mountain daily. Apart from necessary matters, Chun Sansi stayed in the cave mansion, either practicing alchemy or cultivating. An alchemy furnace stood amidst the roaring flames, catalyzing the heavenly materials and earthly treasures inside, constantly transforming. Taking a moment, Chun Sansi held the Longdan bright silver spear, practicing the martial arts dragon scripture. In his chest, on the right side within his body, the lung organ, with each breath, underwent a qualitative change, transforming into transparent glaze. Cultivation technique. Dragon scripture. True power late stage. Progress. 400 to 500. The lung god, named Hao Hua, styled Shuqing, resides in the west, color white, belongs to the 5 elements of gold. The 5th door of the lung meridian opens. Only the last door remains to be opened to step into the true power perfect realm. Chun Sansi then put down the long spear. The nearby alchemy furnace hummed incessantly, with bursts of spiritual power starting to riot, entering the final stage. He formed seals with both hands, his divine sense merging into the alchemy furnace, focusing all his attention on controlling the subtle changes within the great Tao inside, until the spiritual energy erupted from the pill furnace. Blowing off the lid, a crimson elixir slowly floated upwards. 9 revolutions blood amber pill. Skill. Alchemy. Second Tier. Progress 806/1000. The alchemy skill is steadily improving, and soon it will firmly break through to the third tier. There are many elixirs needed for core formation that Chun Sansi no longer needs to purchase from outside. He can refine them himself. This 9 Revolutions Blood Amber Pill is genuinely a demon path elixir. When consumed by a righteous cultivator, they will feel extreme pain due to being unable to withstand the evil qi, and it may even cause some degree of misalignment in their meridians. Long-term use may lead to deviation. But the situation is urgent now, and Chun Sansi cannot afford to worry about so much. He swallowed the 9 Revolutions Blood Amber Pill in one gulp, then began to sit cross-legged and meditate, refining the nature's spiritual energy. With the elixir's blessing, the cultivation speed increased dramatically. After being guided by Lord Taishan, Chun Sansi now practices with more detailed control over his mana or true power, thus minimizing the side effects of the 9 Revolutions Blood Amber Pill. Time flies by like a shuttle. In a blink, it has already been 2 years. 2 years may be long for mortals, but for cultivators, it's just a short period of seclusion. Now, it's already November of Tian Wu's 22nd year. The situation in Si Shui Dao remains as it was before. Since Emperor Tianqi's arrival, the conflict between the righteous and the demon paths has shifted from life-or-death battles to minor skirmishes, and sometimes for half a year, they would completely cease fighting. Instead, internally, chaos has completely set in. The phenomenon of Dead Village has completely shrouded Si Shui Dao, with no way to investigate clearly. The conclusion reached is that these commoners truly sought death of their own accord, rather than being manipulated or coerced by the demon path. As of 2 months ago, out of 60,000 commoners in Si Shui Dao, 40,000 had died, turning the entire Dao almost into a charnel ground. The massive amount of rotting corpses made Chun Sansi involuntarily think of the immortal Ba sect, suspecting those people intended to create corpse puppets. But it makes no sense at all. To create corpse puppets, one cannot just dig up any corpse. The primary requirement is that it needs a spirit root. Moreover, to continuously enhance the corpse puppet's combat capabilities, it would be best for them to have cultivated a special cultivation technique in life. Not to mention, cultivating corpse puppets also requires consuming a vast amount of resources, and needing so many mortal corpses is a losing business. Mortal army. Chun Sansi inexplicably linked this occurrence. Years ago, the demon realm had dispatched a large mortal army, but they quickly disappeared without a trace. It might be the case that the dead village in Si Shui Dao is related to the mortal army. Not only Chun Sansi suspected this, but the Guiyuan sect and Qingshu sect also noticed and began ordering the burning of all corpses. The letter Chun Sansi sent to his master wife received a reply. His master wife said that the 3 great heavenly sects were already aware of this matter, and once other battlefields were cleared, they would immediately dispatch personnel to handle Emperor Tianqi. In the views of the heavenly sects, Emperor Tianqi's actions are merely desperate struggles and instructed the Qingshu sect and Guiyuan sect not to act rashly to avoid scaring off Emperor Tianqi and instructed not to retreat from Si Shui Dao, abandoning the spirit vein resources. Chao Xie might arrive soon. Chun Sansi knew he needed to seize the time. Fortunately, his bottleneck breakthrough is imminent. After consuming various elixirs and activating the spirit gathering array within the cave mansion to increase the spiritual energy concentration, Chun Sansi sat cross-legged, undertaking the final breakthrough of the foundation establishment realm. Under the fire element heavenly spirit root's guidance, strands of nature's spiritual energy seemed to encounter a black hole, violently swirling into his body. In his dantian, an ocean grew more and more filled, creating endless roaring waves, and eventually, they subsided into tranquility, a boundless sea that embraces all rivers. Cultivation technique. Swallowing fire technique. Late-stage foundation establishment. Progress. 0/2000. Utility. Dual casting. Dual casting. Through daily cultivation, mastering the inner flames to simultaneously cast various types of flames. Boom! The true power surged inside Chun Sansi. Red flames burst from his left eye, grim green flames ignited in his right eye, and different flames appeared on both of his fists, making him look like both a god and a demon. Still a bit short. Having only the late-stage foundation establishment in the immortal path isn't enough. Martial arts must also continue to improve. Under relentless day and night cultivation, Chun Sansi's martial arts realm advanced rapidly, not far from breaking the threshold. He brandished a long spear in one hand and held the Dragon Abyss sword in the other, practicing the dragon scripture over and over again. Just as Chun Sansi was preparing to forcefully break through the martial arts realm bottleneck, the blue bird returned with a letter. It was another letter from his master wife, and its contents were simple. Chao Xie has set out. He could arrive at Dragon Elephant City at any time. Leave immediately with your second senior sister. The front lines had slightly calmed, and the three great heavenly sects had each dispatched a nascent soul cultivator, heading to see Xue Dao. No time left. Chun Sansi had to halt his cultivation. If the horse slave comes here, even if he doesn't make a direct move against me, he'll find every way to make me die in an accident. He must obtain the creation jade due quickly. Chun Sansi immediately informed Dongfang Jingxing and others, instructing the 4,000 disguised demon-slaying sect members to assemble outside Little Witch Mountain. He himself began to prepare supplies, getting ready to exert all his effort tonight to take down Little Witch Mountain. Stationed at Little Witch Mountain is Elder Fengji and Xue Jingfeng, both of whom are equipped with the magical treasure known as the 100 Beasts list. Should battle break out, it would be challenging for Chun Sansi to deal with so many troubles. But time is short, and no matter what, he has to give it his all tonight. As night fell, Chun Sansi set out from the city. While passing by the Dao field, he glanced at the heavenly Dao ranking. Champion leader is still Shun Tui. This person is strange. He excels at combat, consistently holding the first place from the beginning to the end. However, the number of copper coins between him and the second-ranked Xue Shenrong and others is very close, differing by only a few copper coins. Tonight, if successful, he could make a big splash and seize the champion leader title. Shortly after leaving Dragon Elephant City, someone was following him. Chao Xie could arrive at Dragon Elephant City at any time, and no matter who was following him, he had no time to care. He immediately performed the escape technique and left the vicinity of Dragon Elephant City. Wow! Such a powerful sword control technique. Zhang Wuya watched as the other disappeared, feeling very puzzled. What's with this Lu guy lately? He's either in seclusion or in seclusion, not even accumulating copper coins. Has he given up on competing with us for the creation jade due? I guess he knows he can't beat us. Song Jing urged. Let's finish up here, and then find a way to expose Jiang Xie's demonic qi. Zhang Wuya nodded, touching his chin. That blind man is strange too, he hasn't shown up lately. Chun Sansi stood on the flying sword, looking back at the gradually appearing barren mountain on the horizon. Blue bird, Chun Sansi commanded. Go tell Little Bamboo and the others. They can start taking action. The blue bird flew away. After a brief pause, Chun Sansi sensed someone else approaching from behind. He furrowed his brows, drew his sword, and was about to strike unexpectedly when he noticed it was someone familiar. Senior sister? Chun Sansi asked. Why are you here? Jiang Xie's tone was devoid of emotion and stated, Master asked me to help you acquire the creation jade due. Is your injury still troubling you? Chun Sansi looked at her dantian, noticing that the aura, after extended rest, had become undetectable. Jiang Xie gently shook her head. I'm fine. Great. Then I must trouble senior sister. Chun Sansi was not overly polite. He alone would indeed struggle against a golden core demon cultivator. Plus, this time requires a swift and decisive battle. Any assistance is certainly welcome. Buzz! Boom! At that moment, several beams of golden light shot up from the distant sky, exploding into dazzling golden lotuses at 10,000 feet high. Happy New Year! This was a spell created from a talisman called Mingdi, used to signal troops deployment. 20 miles outside Little Witch Mountain, 4,000 heavenly wall soldiers had already gathered in the wild. They were in plain clothes, disguised as disciples of the demon-slaying sect. An elderly figure with gray hair and a feathered fan stood on high, directing the troops below into formation. Finally, the feathered fan fell heavily, the war drums sounded, and the army began to charge. Where did those fireworks come from? On Little Witch Mountain, several patrolling demon cultivators looked at the golden lotus exploding above them and couldn't help but murmur. Wait, look over there. Is that someone? They turned their heads and saw a dense crowd rushing toward Little Witch Mountain. Attack the mountain. Someone's attacking the mountain. Quickly go notify the elder. Everyone else, come and defend with me. Inside Little Witch Mountain, a burly and rugged demon cultivator was sitting on a stone bench, savoring a cup of blood wine, when suddenly he heard the report from outside. He heavily put down the wine cup and immediately walked outside the cave mansion. Demon-slaying sect people? Humph. I've heard they've been active in Shui recently. Didn't expect them to be bold enough to cause trouble here. Elder Shui, a disciple reminded. Years ago, Dugu Ao of the demon-slaying sect revealed himself at Mingquan Lake. Better to be cautious. Dugu Ao? Shui sneered. I just want to see if he's really the legendary prodigy. As he spoke, he keenly captured a silhouette in the night sky. Stepping on the ground, he transformed into the light of escape, chasing up to Cloud Peak until both parties landed in a valley. Foundation establishment? Shui looked at the young man in the forest and squinted slightly with contempt. Where is Dugu Ao? You're not worthy to be my opponent. Whether I'm worthy or not, it's not for you to say. Fire element. Chun Sansi shouted loudly. Dragon Abyss sword and Long Dan bright silver spear appeared in succession, emitting two entirely different flames from 7 orifices. The left was the crimson burning sky fire, and the right was the fierce fire of 10,000 beasts. Dragon Abyss sword bright silver spear. Shui showed some surprise on his face. You're not from the demon-slaying sect. You're that Chun Lei from the eastern continent? Chun Sansi did not utter a single word, crushed a talisman, and his figure suddenly vanished from the spot. Child's play. Shui released his golden core divine sense, precisely capturing a fluctuation coming from the trees behind him, as a divine dragon wrapped in flames roared out from the trees. Calmly, he opened his palm. A pocket-sized copper cauldron suddenly enlarged and smashed down like a meteor hammer. Magical treasure. Heavenly slaughter tripod. At the moment of collision, the divine dragon let out a roar, trees exploded piece by piece, and a figure retreated dozens of yards before barely stabilizing, leaving a deep trench on the ground. Shui looked at his hands, feeling something unusual. Burning sky fire? 10,000 beasts fierce fire? Using 2 flames simultaneously? Nearby, Chun Sansi, after a hit and run, felt the aching of his bones and wisps of evil chi like a poisonous snake encroaching up the spear wanting to corrode his body. This is the power of a magical treasure? Golden Core cultivators use Dao tools, no longer called magic artifacts but magical treasures. Magical treasures are called treasure because they are superior to magic artifacts in every aspect, and crafting them is exceedingly challenging, requiring vast efforts from artifact refiners. While expelling the evil chi with true power, Chun Sansi burrowed underground, quickly approaching the opponent again, showcasing his full array of skills, a spear and sword like twin dragons biting into the demon cultivator. Shui showed no fear, forming hand seals. The heavenly slaughter tripod moved as if an extension of his arm, suppressing the twin dragons with overpowering evil chi. Each collision emitted a deafening buzz, shaking the forests, waking and scattering birds within 10 miles. After each clash, Chun Sansi would be violently repelled, and the pain increased with each exchange. But every round he persevered, and this was the rhythm he was familiar with. Again, Chun Sansi spat out a mouthful of clotted blood, facing the vast mana of a golden core cultivator bravely, charging forward repeatedly. Shui, meanwhile, manipulated the heavenly slaughter tripod like a blood-red meteor, continuously repelling the opponent. Bang! After more than a dozen rounds, Shuezhu clearly felt the burn rate of his mana accelerating. He did not continue to delay, forming hand seals, chanting incantations. The heavenly slaughter tripod expanded once again, crashing down onto the earth like a towering mountain. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Shuezhu summoned a scroll from his bosom. This painting, mounted with white cloth and jade, unfolded to reveal fierce beasts illustrated upon it. 100 beasts list. Activate! Shuezhu shouted loudly. From the front of the scroll, a dark purple teleportation gate unfolded, with muffled roars and low growls emanating from it. A spiritual beast, entirely black, was the first to step out. This spiritual beast had a ram's head and wolf claws. A rounded skull with a colorful body, stood more than a yard tall, resembling a musk deer in form, with a tail like a dragon's, its body surface covered in dragon scales as dark as black jade. A third-tier spiritual beast, Emochilin. It bowed slightly, then let out a call to the night sky like a war drum, and then spiritual beasts emerged one after another from the scroll. Scarred, menacing white tiger city, brilliantly colorful exotic black bird, a fierce flood dragon with a single horn. They numbered 100, resembling an army composed of spiritual beasts. Roaring, they began their charge, making the figures ahead appear insignificantly small like ants in comparison. Blue bird. Bai Yu. Qian Sun. Chan Sansi summoned the spiritual beasts he had nurtured in succession, and with a wave of his sleeve, set up several formations, activating a dozen puppets, and deployed all his methods. The blue bird circled under the full moon, letting out a shriek, its sound waves piercing the divine soul like silver needles, halting the advance of the beast tide. Qian Sun soared into the sky, and its wings, transformed by spiritual power, became countless blades, showering down like a torrential storm. The white jade spirit snake coiled around the purple thunder bow, and Chan Sansi, standing atop an ancient tree's canopy, fiercely shot an arrow. White spirit illuminating the world. A phantom of a giant python that could swallow the sky manifested beneath the night, opening its massive maw, crushing several spiritual beasts into dust on the spot. Afterward, Chan Sansi continuously drew and shot arrows, raining them down upon the tide-like spiritual beasts. Roar! The ink jade Qilin let out a furious roar, transforming its entire body into a black flying sword, swiftly arriving in front of the white robe. Chan Sansi hurriedly blocked with the purple thunder bow, but in terms of brute strength, how could he compare to the physically robust third-tier spiritual beast? The ancient tree beneath his feet broke with a bang, and he was smashed heavily onto the ground. Shuezhu raised the heavenly slaughter tripod with both hands, accumulating mana, appearing from afar as if lifting a mountain. As he was about to throw it at the white robe, he suddenly sensed the piercing cold from the flank, immediately changing the direction of the heavenly slaughter tripod, and forcefully hurling it to clash against sword chi wrapped in a towering chill. Crack, crack. Moments later, the crisp sound of breaking ice rang out as the heavenly slaughter tripod successfully shook off a black silhouette. Shuezhu focused his gaze, and it was a woman's sword cultivator whose eyes were covered with black silk. Who are you? He furrowed his brows, shifting his mana, shattering the frost covering his arm, his heart filled with disbelief. The gap between Foundation Establishment and Golden Core was like a chasm, yet tonight was truly strange, as he encountered two Foundation establishments in succession that he couldn't easily handle. Without a reply, the blind woman carried a blizzard as she came to kill again. The killing intent in her sword chi was exceedingly rare in the world. Shuezhu did not dare to be careless, immediately calling back the black flying sword transformed by the ink jade Qilin, slashing at the blind woman. Unexpectedly, the white robe returned again. He had to change his target once more, focusing on dealing with the latter. Senior sister. Chan Sansi's chin was covered in dried blood. Help me hold Emochilin and the spiritual beasts. I'll deal with this person. Jiang Xie said nothing, as the cold intensified above the heavenly dome. Dragon Abyss sword and bright silver spear danced intertwined, under the blessing of extreme divine power. Although Chun Sansi remained at a disadvantage, he was no longer as strained as before. Clang, clang, clang. The sound of iron striking filled the wilderness. While he fought a life-and-death battle with the Golden Core cultivator, the cultivators from Skywall City were also engaged in battle with the guard forces of Little Witch Mountain. Star Peak Mountain. After a massacre, Xue Xianrong and others returned to their station. Great! Zhang Wuya threw down the demon cultivator's head. Just 20 more copper coins to reach 2,000. This would not have been possible without the help of our senior and junior brothers and sisters. But Xue Xianrong pointed with his folded fan to Shen Tui, who sat in the corner recuperating. This loose cultivator is almost about to gather enough copper coins too. We better not let our guard down. That's right. Song Jing agreed. Let's rest briefly, then continue hunting, aiming to reach our goal before dawn tomorrow. Anyway, Xue Xianrong looked puzzled. Why has Baihua Valley not shown up? Don't mention it, Zhang Wuya said. Yesterday I saw him sneaking out of the city, not sure what he went to do. Does this mean? Xue Xianrong whispered. He really gave up competing with us for the creation Jade Dew. Something happened. Something happened. Just then, a cultivator hurriedly arrived controlling a flying sword, shouting at Master Fengji, who sat cross-legged at the cliff edge. Elder, there's a situation at Little Witch Mountain. Although the Righteous Path forces hadn't had the spare resources to attack Little Witch Mountain, they would send scouts over long-term to investigate, so when conflict occurred, they could know immediately. Master Fengji slowly opened his eyes. Speak. In the vicinity of Little Witch Mountain, several thousand people suddenly appeared. The disciple reported, they're carrying the flag of Demon Slaying Sect, currently attacking the mine shafts. Demon Slaying Sect? Xue Jingfeng pondered. I've heard lately that they've been very active inside and outside Si Xue Dao. Master Fengji stroked his beard. What do you think they're planning to do? Taoist Xue. In Little Witch Mountain lies a mine shaft, rich in middle-grade spirit stones. Xue Jingfeng analyzed. These villains most likely aim to seize the mountain range and plunder its spirit stone resources. They've done similar things before. Oh, Master Fengji asked. Shall we go over and take a look? No need. Xue Jingfeng shook his head. That spirit light originally belongs to Seven Killing Sect. If Demon Slaying Sect can take it, let them. It's like hiring them to take back our territory. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, Heavenly Killing True Monarch and the nascent soul seniors appointed by the Holy Sect will arrive at Si Xue Dao. Tonight, our main task is to keep a close eye on Tianqi. Make sure he doesn't get wind of anything and escape prematurely. Makes sense, makes sense. Master Fengji nodded repeatedly, no longer concerning himself with this affair. With many scouts near Little Witch Mountain, the matter quickly spread everywhere. Demon Slaying Sect is really a troublemaker. They're everywhere. Brother, what you say isn't right. Demon Slaying Sect has helped us at the Demon Slaying Great Wall, and now they're here dealing with the demon cultivators. They should be our allies. Allies? You've forgotten they're madmen? Their ultimate goal is to destroy all sects in the world. Senior Brother Zhang. Listening to the discussions among fellow sect members, Xue Xianrong suddenly thought of something. What's the rule for receiving the reward from Little Witch Mountain? Zhang Wuya answered, possessing Little Witch Mountain or killing the Golden Core cultivator guarding it, using their head as proof. Not good, Xue Xianrong said. Lu Shengji might be going there to kill that Golden Core. Him, Zhang Wuya scoffed. This person is certainly strong within his realm, but to challenge a Golden Core across realms, he's far from capable. He may not be able, but Jiang Xie might, Xue Xianrong suggested. Don't forget, this woman has a demonic flaw. If it flares up, her strength would surge. Moreover, these years, Jiang has killed plenty of enemies, but her copper coin count remains 0. It's clear she gave them all to Lu Shengji. She might be helping Lu Shengji kill the Golden Core to acquire creation Jade Dew. It's not impossible. If they join forces and amidst chaos, they might actually succeed. No, we must go and check. His expression was tense. We cannot let them succeed. Even if our speculation is wrong, and they aren't at Little Witch Mountain, we can still take advantage of the chaos to hunt demon cultivators and earn the last copper coins. If our speculation is correct, we must stop them, perhaps even get to witness the true face of Jiang Xie, this demonic flaw. After making plans, Xue Xinrong and the others set off together, leaving Star Peak Mountain and heading to the location where the chaos was occurring. Not long after they set off, the loose cultivator Shin Tui suddenly opened his eyes, picked up the flying sword beside him, and disappeared as well. Heavenly Slaughter Tripod. Xue Zhu hoisted the copper cauldron, descending from the sky like sky-reaching Buzhou Mountain crashing down. Dragon Scripture? Rising Dragon. Chen Sansi neither dodged nor flinched, channeling all the true power in his body into the Longden bright silver spear in his right hand. The crimson burning sky fire surging higher and higher until a divine dragon erupted explosively, letting out a thunderous dragon roar, colliding with the copper cauldron that blotted out the sun. Bong! A deep bell-like sound sprang forth. In the panicked eyes of the startled birds, they saw only a crimson divine dragon clashing with a towering mountain in the air. Under the suppression of the mountain, the divine dragon initially curled its body, emitting cries of pain, but as time passed, the wails gradually transformed into majestic roars filled with awe, the light it emitted becoming ever more dazzling, until the originally pitch-black night sky was completely lit up in fiery red, swallowing the towering mountain whole, gradually melting it like a snowy mountain until it collapsed. Bang! Xue Zhu plummeted from high above with the Heavenly Slaughter Tripod, crashing into the ground and creating a massive crater. In this round, he was slightly overshadowed. Every time they clashed, the burning sky fire would erode the meridians. Initially, for the Golden Core realm Xue Zhu, it wasn't a big deal, but as their clashes became more frequent, the burning sky fire filled his body like a bone-attaching sore, leaving no time to completely expel it. As a result, now, whenever he cast a spell, it required 10 times the mana. Even with deep foundations, he couldn't bear such expenditure. Turning his head again, Xue Zhu saw that the blind woman alone was blocking the entire beast wave with 2 or 3 spiritual pets. Even the Ink Jade Qilin was clearly in decline. Continuing would lead to inevitable defeat. Could it be he, a dignified Golden Core cultivator, is truly going to die at the hands of 2 Foundation Establishment juniors today? Wouldn't that be an enormous joke? No way. He cannot stubbornly continue fighting. Take this. After pondering for a while, Xue Zhu suddenly opened his mouth, spraying a black mist ahead as a cover, while he jumped into the Heavenly Slaughter Tripod and turned into a light of escape, soaring into the air, attempting to flee. The Heavenly Slaughter Tripod is not only a powerful suppressive magic artifact, but also a controlling the sky artifact. Damn it! However, Xue Zhu soon discovered that relying on the magical treasure's escape speed, he couldn't outpace the sword flight technique of the young Chun Lei. Triple blood burning. Naturally, Chun Sansi wouldn't let him escape. Disregarding his injuries, he forcibly burned essence blood, increasing his speed and controlling the sky repeatedly, arriving hundreds of meters away, aiming towards the Heavenly Slaughter Tripod with a bow and arrow, the bow string like a thunderbolt. One magic-eating cicada after another charged into the copper cauldron, consecutively self-destructing. Although the power of second-tier goo insects wasn't enough to harm a Golden Core cultivator, they nevertheless caused Xue Zhu significant interference, forcing him to halt his escape. Damn it! He resumed controlling the Heavenly Slaughter Tripod, engaging in one last frenzied attack. After all, he's a Golden Core cultivator. Even at this moment, the mana he erupted could continuously repel the white robe. But it's only repelling. No matter how many times Qin Lei was repelled, he would grit his teeth and come back, seemingly numb to pain, like a corpse puppet refined by the immortal boss sect, targeting him until death. After repeating this cycle for over 10 rounds, every time Xue Zhu controlled the Heavenly Slaughter Tripod, it consumed nearly 20 times the mana, his Dantian already nearing exhaustion. On the other hand, Chun Sansi, though heavily injured, fought more bravely with each encounter. Coupled with the extraordinarily strange martial arts, he completely took the upper hand. Clang! Upon summoning the heavenly slaughter tripod yet again, Xuezhu suddenly felt that his life-bound magical artifact, which had been with him for over 200 years, was unbearably heavy, unable to be controlled anymore. He could only watch helplessly as the opponent stabbed it with a spear, sending the 1,000-pound copper cauldron flying, completely severing its connection to him. Ha! Xuezhu was shocked, quickly grabbing a pair of magical treasure-flying knives, making a last-ditch effort for survival. However, he realized that once he left the suppression of golden core power, he was clumsy and helpless under the opponent's martial arts. After barely defending against a few times of spear light and sword blade, he could no longer withstand them, ultimately witnessing two divine dragons circling hoarsely around him, his body gradually becoming numb, his consciousness slipping into chaos. Bang! Taking advantage of the opponent's countless flaws, Chun Sansi unleashed blood burst, releasing all true power, piercing the heart of the golden core demon cultivator with one strike, simultaneously sweeping out with the dragon abyss sword, shearing off the opponent's entire head at the root. Golden core, dead. He reached out, grabbed Xuezhu's head, which couldn't rest in peace, and then descended into the beast wave from the sky. Roar! With the master's death, the beast herd also fell into chaos. Some became more violent and rushed to fight, while others scattered and fled. And that ink Jade Qilin, whose fighting power surpassed ordinary golden core levels, was eventually pierced by the blind woman's sword, turning into an ice sculpture and shattered. Chun Sansi took the storage bag from Xuezhu's headless corpse, put the heavenly slaughter tripod and 100 beasts list into his own possession, then disguised himself as Lu Shengji, carrying the golden core head, returning to the vicinity of Little Witch Mountain, announcing the news of Xuezhu's death. With the death of the elder, the demon cultivators of Little Witch Mountain turned into a chaotic mess, fleeing in a more disorganized manner than the spiritual beasts. The soldiers of Skywall City successfully launched an attack on Little Witch Mountain. They plundered the Spirit Stone resources completely, then dispersed quickly, disappearing without a trace. Throughout Skywater Continent, there are taverns set up by Great Han Black Ice Platform, and some workshops also have shops. These places serve as temporary hiding spots for the Tianyong cultivators. It's done. Chun Sansi stood at the peak of Little Witch Mountain, letting out a long sigh of relief. He just needed to bring this head back to Dragon Elephant City to instantly obtain the Creation Jade due. As for the process, by then he would just claim that the demon-slaying sect injured Xuezhu, and he and Jiang Xie seized the opportunity. Logically, it barely made sense, and then by having the demon-slaying sect help authenticate, it would basically be enough to bluff through. In any case, even if there's suspicion of Lu Xingji being in contact with the demon-slaying sect, it's very difficult to imagine a connection between Lu Xingji and Great Han, which is enough. Your Majesty! Dongfang Jingxing appeared beside him. A group of cultivators from Dragon Elephant City is approaching. Oh! Chun Sansi nodded, knowing they were definitely drawn by the previous chaos. He said, "You should leave quickly, we don't need you here anymore." "As you command." Dongfang Jingxing acknowledged and withdrew. Senior sister. Chun Sansi found the blind lady and noticed after a bout of fighting, the Zhuemo mystical light within her began to manifest again. Just as he was about to leave this place of trouble with his senior sister, a sword light suddenly appeared from the dense forest ahead. This sword light did not seem to intend an ambush, merely landing several zhang away from him. A sword cultivator in a straw raincoat stood on the sword hilt, blocking their path. Taoist Shen Tu? Chun San recognized him as the loose cultivator who had long dominated the top of the heavenly Tao rankings with his strength alone. He asked, "What does this mean, Taoist?" "Duel." Shin Tuyi looked at the golden core head in his hand and gritted his teeth. "If you die, give me Xuezhu's head." Taoist Shin Tuesday. Chun Sansi said deeply, "I killed the person, naturally the reward belongs to me. Why do we still need to duel?" "Enough with the talk." Shun Tuye's eyes burned red. "I have fought alone to this day. How can I accept defeat at the last moment? Prepare to die." Before the words finished, the sword light swiftly approached. Clang! Chun Sansi had no choice but to raise the Shangqing sword to block. Excellent swordsmanship, excellent sword chi. After exchanging blows with the opponent, he quickly understood why this loose cultivator could dominate the champion leader for so long. This guy, placed among late-stage foundation establishment, essentially had strength difficult to match. Unfortunately, he encountered the wrong person. Even though exhausted from battling the Golden Core and using triple blood burning, Chun Sansi was not afraid of this man at all. Water element true power began to surge, and he engaged Shin Tu-yi in battle. Meanwhile, behind the dense shrubbery, Xue Shenrong and two others observed the battlefield. "Is that Xue Zhu's head?" Senior Brother Zhang said in disbelief. "Did those two really kill a Golden Core cultivator?" Two foundation establishments killing a Golden Core is something almost unheard of even in the entire cultivation world. If Lu Shangji takes the head back, our nearly 5 years of effort will be in vain. Song Jing stared ahead. And why is Shen Tuyi here too? What do we do now? Disciples of Baihua Valley have fallen to demonization. Father will lead people to Little Witch Mountain for cleansing. While the two hesitated, Xue Xianrong already crushed the communication jade pendant left by his father, then took out a wooden box, coldly saying, "Today, I will reveal Jiang Xie's true form. Then, let's see what qualification does Master Yuling have to hold on to the Baihua Valley's cave heaven-blessed land." As he spoke, he suddenly noticed the blind lady, who had been standing at a distance, had disappeared without a trace. "Junior Brother Xue, watch out behind you." Senior Brother Zhang's voice rang out. Xue Xianrong quickly turned, only to see the blind lady silently appear behind them, with waves of chill spreading from the Ice Soul Sword, enveloping everyone. "Why?" The blind woman's voice was cold and confused. "Why must you harm me?" "Because your master wastes resources for nothing." Zhang Wuya flipped his palm, and the mixed gold hammer appeared in his hand. Without hesitation, it smashed forward. However, during this process, he felt as if the air had frozen into ice, making it extremely difficult for the mixed gold hammer to move even an inch downward. Before he could think of a countermeasure, the blind woman had already thrust out a sword. "Senior Brother Zhang." Song Jing summoned her life-bound magical artifact, the 1,000 mystical snow lotus, controlling the petals to form a shield in front of her. Yet in an instant, the shield shattered under the rampage of the icy sword chi. Both of them were flung out, crashing hard into the mud. Immediately, the blind woman swung her sword again, aiming to take Xue Shenrong's life. "Junior Sister Jiang." Xue Shenrong retreated repeatedly. "Let Senior Brother see your true face." He waved his hand, smashing the wooden box into pieces. A wooden statue of a god came into view. The statue sat cross-legged on a decaying lotus platform, its body bloated and obese, its features twisted and blurred, but the distortion and ferocity could be keenly felt. Threads of dark purple mystical energy emanated from the statue, like a prison trapping the blind woman within. He 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 he. An eerie, sinister laugh echoed in everyone's ears. Jiang Xie's body stiffened halfway through her move, as if her divine soul was under immense torment, one hand covering her cheek, the other embedding the Ice Soul Sword into the ground, her body trembling in pain on one knee. "Senior Sister?" Chun Sansi repelled Shin Tui with a sword, rushing like a meteor to the blind woman, directly shattering the evil god's statue on the ground. However, destroying the statue did not dispel the pervasive purple energy. The eerie and uncanny laughter became even more piercing. It was as though he heard the tightening curse on Monkey Sun, causing a splitting headache, as past memories flashed through his mind. Many of them were about suffering, oppression, and grievances, with negative emotions amplified. No wonder this evil god could lead one into inner demons. Fortunately, Chun Sansi, with a clear conscience along the way, had a transparent mind and was not greatly affected, quickly regaining clarity. But the situation of the blind woman in front of him was not so optimistic. Jiang Xie could barely hold the Ice Soul Sword, her fair and slender hands covering her lotus-like face, letting out a painful moan. In her dantian, the familiar vermilion and ink mystical light grew brighter with each breath. In the end, strands of demonic chi seeped out from it, entwining the blind woman's body. What pure demonic chi! Even from a few steps away, Chun Sansi could feel the demonic chi corroding his meridians. What exactly is the injury in Senior Sister's dantian that could erupt with such intense demonic chi? Or could it be that this is not an injury at all, but demonic chi that Senior Sister cultivated herself? Jiang Xia has long gone demonic. I saw her earlier with my own eyes, slaughtering without batting an eye like a demon. Xue Xinrong showed a triumphant expression. Lu Shengji, if you're unaware, then join me in exposing her. Otherwise, it means you're also of the demon path. Chun Sansi didn't waste words with him, taking out the yin-yang jade from his storage bag left by his master, ready to perform a spell to heal his senior sister. D. Sword Chi came from behind as Shen Tui attacked again. Shen Tui, Chun Sansi, forced to stop, angrily said, I don't have time to waste with you now. Then hand over Shueju's head. Shen Tui was relentless. Taoist Shun Tu, the head may not necessarily be yours? Xue Xinrong threw out a folding fan attacking from the flank, leading two others, joining the battle for 1,000 copper coins. The four began to fight chaotically. Earlier, Chun Sansi had exhausted too much true power dealing with the golden core, naturally unable to easily handle so many opponents of the same realm. As he was battling fiercely with others, billowing demonic chi surged skyward like a tidal wave. They turned to look and saw the blind woman at the center of the demonic chi. Her black tresses had unknowingly turned snowy white. She slowly raised her face. The black ribbon that obscured her eyes gradually slipped down, revealing a pair of blood-red gem-like eyes, with fine demon patterns creeping out from the depth of her pupils, crawling to the corners of her eyes like living creatures. Under the gaze of everyone, the white-haired Jiang Xia's crimson lips curled into a hideous smile, like cracks suddenly exploding beneath the icy surface. In that moment, Chun Sansi felt as if the blind woman had transformed into someone entirely different. Indeed, that was truly the case. Amidst the eyes of all, Jiang Xia, with her white hair and blood-red pupils, slowly stood up. The black and red demonic energy coiled around her body, and her gaze towards the crowd resembled a bloodthirsty fierce beast sealed for a millennium, encountering the freshest prey. This scene caused everyone to pause their killing. Yes, that's right. Exactly like that. Xue Xinrong shouted excitedly. This is the true form of Jiang Xie. The energy emanating from her has surpassed Yin Sha Qi. It's pure demonic energy, the kind only possessed by true great cultivators on the demon path. Zhang Wuya was dumbfounded. Following the cultivation methods of the demon path, who knows how many people she had to kill to reach such a realm? This is bad. Song Jing exclaimed. The demon is coming towards us. Unbeknownst to everyone, within a radius of several miles, the extreme Yin and Sha demonic energy had turned the area into a world of ice and snow. Amidst the sky full of flying snow, the white-haired demon moved. Boom! Everyone saw a red glow shining, and the next moment, a wave of murderous intent swept over them. Quick! Stop her! Xue Xinrong shouted fiercely, his folding fan releasing a golden light as he slashed towards the blood glow. But the moment they made contact, his Chenkuan fan shattered under the scarlet sword chi. His life-bound magic artifact damaged. Xue Xinrong spat out warm blood on the spot. A strand of sword chi struck his chest without obstruction, his bones crumbling inch by inch, as his body shot backward and crashed into a pit, remaining motionless, his life and death unknown. Junior brother Xue. Zhang Wuya roared angrily, stomping his foot, his arms bulging with veins as he wielded the mixed gold hammer towards the blood-colored light. The sword chi, like a blood-red moon, erupted. The heavy mixed gold hammer showed cracks, then exploded into countless fragments, resembling shattered stars, turning into a grand meteor shower, falling towards its owner with pure demonic energy. Ah! Amidst the wailing, Zhang Wuya was impaled by his own artifact's fragments. dying on the spot without closing his eyes. Core formation? Song Jing could see that the demonic energy released by the blind woman at least had reached the realm of the golden core, and it was no ordinary golden core. She was instantly terrified, no longer daring to stay, and turned to flee. Amidst the fog-like snowstorm, the white-haired Jiang Xie tilted her head suddenly, her pupils filled with frenzied excitement. She lifted the ice soul sword, now turned crimson, flicking it slightly. A sword chi, resembling a blood moon, rose from the ground, swiftly catching up to Song Jing in midair, splitting her entire body in two, red and white matters turning into a viscous rain falling down with a splash. Daemoness, die! Facing the sudden change, the loose cultivator Shin Tui only charged in with his sword, but upon contact, he turned into blood mist amidst the overwhelming sword chi, dying silently. In a blink of an eye, only Chun Sansi was left standing in the forest. Senior sister? Chun Sansi cautiously stepped forward 2 paces. Is it still you? Buzz! As soon as he spoke, sword sounds rang in his ears. Another sword chi, imbued with extreme yin and sha pure demonic energy, tore through the ground, sweeping towards him. Fire element. Boom! Having witnessed Shintui and others die miserably, Chun Sansi dared not be careless, immediately exerting his full strength, wielding the Dragon Abyss sword and bright silver spear together, pushing both burning sky and 10,000 beasts flames forward. However, upon contact with the sword chi, he felt his arms lose sensation, his body floating backward like a sky lantern until embedded in the cliffside of a precipice. Late-stage golden core. After Jiang Xie entered her demonic state, her realm was at late-stage golden core, and it continued to rise. Under the enhancement of the Qi observation skill, Chun Sansi witnessed an extremely eerie scene. Jiang Xie, with her white hair and red eyes, needed to do nothing but stand in place, and her realm continuously ascended on its own. When she raised her sword again, her realm had progressed from late-stage core formation to the nascent soul realm. Senior Sister Jiang, it's me. Struggling to pull himself out of the stone wall, Chun Sansi tried to awaken her consciousness, but in vain. With the nascent soul realm's pressure crushing him, the second sword fell. Triple blood burning. Already extremely weakened, Chun Sansi forcefully cast the skill again, but still couldn't completely evade the sword chi, slamming into the cliff, tumbling down like a broken-winged bird. Cough, cough. With that sword, nearly all his bones fractured, his organs cracked. Before he could catch a breath, the third sword followed closely. Shit! Chun Sansi cursed in his heart. Why didn't the master mention there was such a situation with the second senior sister, leaving him utterly unprepared? To die like this would truly be unjust. Lying on the ground, he took out all the tunneling talismans while stuffing an elixir pill to replenish chi blood into his mouth, ready to use any means to escape. But just as he initiated the earth tunneling talisman, he found it ineffective. The entire land had turned into permafrost under the purest demonic energy, harder than steel, rendering the earth tunneling talisman useless. Seeing the third sword chi approach within 10 feet, Chun Sansi could only take out the immortal treasure Strange Fire, ready for a desperate fight. At the critical moment, above the night sky, a deep voice rang out. Kid, you owe me a favor again.